My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California. See thepatternofconduct.wordpress.com.
It's June 7th, 2022. I did document the Ontario Police Department not only last night on June 6, 2022, but also today, as the entity is, the Ontario Police specifically, is engaged in ongoing stalking, flying over me by helicopter in concert with Union Pacific. Union Pacific, the company, represents the people of the state, directly engaged in what is a physical assault of my person and assault and battery that the Ontario Police Department engaged in again. And this is at approximately 12:46 a.m. This is captured on video as the Ontario Police are at the same time stalking me by helicopter, and I am speaking to the truth of what are the people of the state. As you see the Ontario Police Department stalking me and obsessively stalking, they are engaged in flying over me, repeated flying in circles, flying back and forth over me, flying around me, and doing so as I have captured in hundreds of video documentation. And you also hear Union Pacific train activity. Union Pacific is engaged in criminal monitoring. Union Pacific shall be prosecuted as engaging in what is an assault and battery as the government of attacking me while I'm documenting their criminal conduct, engaging in state surveillance and terrorism. And that's exactly what you hear in my videos while the Ontario Police is captured engaged in ongoing stalking. At the same time, while I'm speaking to the stalker that are the Ontario Police, engaging in the stalking conduct in real time. At 12:46 a.m., the people of the state, you can see what is a third party walking resolutely. This is a third party that knows exactly where I am. You're also paying attention to the timing. They are approaching pursuant to the truth that I speak about the people of the state and their conduct. The people of the state are stalkers, and they are stalkers in the same exact way that which is a matter of objective evidence that the Ontario Police Department are. That's why they're obsessively stalking me by helicopters. That's why the people of the state who you see approaching me at the museum, in directed light, by the way, at the same venue where the entity is placing both the sun and the moon over me, is engaging in what is approaching me resolutely, aggressively, and immediately as I recite the fact, the basis upon which my evidence reveals the people of the state are stalking. They are stalking while I'm documenting them in the museum, at the library. They are stalking on the bus. They are stalking at the bus stop. They are stalking while they are at work, wherever they call themselves working, whether it's at Starbucks, whether it's at Stater Brothers, whether it's working driving the buses, whether it's working in the neighborhood coffee shop, Mestiza, living in relevant position at Metro 102 Apartments, at the Emporia Lofts across the street from the museum, where the entity is stalking by helicopter. The people of the state are stalkers. And the people of the state immediately approach me, knowing exactly where I am and knowing exactly what I am saying. And at 12:46 a.m. on June 7, 2022, you see the Ontario Police Department physically attacking me, while they are also at the same time stalking me by helicopter. This is group stalking that I'm capturing. It is an assault and battery by the same Ontario Police Department who is engaged in ceaseless stalking. And this is the third party engaging in what is the, first of all, violent and entirely wicked. These are demons in action. That's a demon stalking me by helicopter. This is a demon that's approaching me that is present to engage in attacking. You can tell by the posture, you can tell by the approach. That demon is present and is immediately outraged by what I'm documenting on video, knows exactly what I documented on video, as do the Ontario Police Department, who are stalking me in a helicopter. All right, and that's speaking to the psychopaths and the demons that are the Ontario Police, while they are maintaining real-time awareness of everything that I'm documenting. And this physical attack is captured at 12:46 p.m. where you see my phone turn off. I do want to document the Ontario Police Department damaged my cell phone, my T-Mobile phone that I bought in May of 2021. This is damage that the entity has caused while they're engaging in surveillance and terrorism and physically attacking me, damaging my property while they are hostile because I'm documenting that criminal conduct. The entity is engaging in what is then sitting around at the museum, laughing and joking and talking around, walking around saying nigger repeatedly, yelling out the Ontario Police Department, as I'm uploading my videos about the Ontario Police Department. All right, it is currently, again, 2:50 a.m. I'm just updating my podcast. This is the P.O.C. 3:31 a.m. 3:41 a.m. 7:37 a.m. at the Ontario Museum of History and Arts. The fake sun is, and engineered light covers the grounds of the museum. And as I pack up my property, the entity is flying over me, hovering by Southwest Airlines, just as I captured in images last night, flying over the side of the museum where I'm at, maintaining that maintenance on the south side of my person. All right, that's what they're doing at the Ontario Town Square. They remain on whatever is the south side of where I'm located. That's what they did yesterday morning while I stood on Euclid Avenue on the opposite side of the Ovid Family Community Library, facing that parking garage. And you saw the commercial airlines flying on the south side of my person. That's what they did at the Ovid Family Community Library the day before yesterday as I remained there after closing, after 4 p.m. The entity hovering over the 280 North Limit Apartments remaining on the south side of my person. Southwest Airlines is directly engaged in what is the ongoing assault and battery with the Ontario Police Department while they are stalking me at the museum. 4LE6758, as well 8VHW114, 8CMY625, 8WMR275, 4WTM D63, 7RMA393, 40462H2, 6MHH676. This is the entity that is monitoring on behalf of the same exact police agency, police department, monitoring together, they're group stalking together. They are of that same condition as well. This is demonic gang stalking, group stalking, and they are doing so on behalf of the same public entity. And the commercial airlines, they represent the people of the state, and they engaged in a violent attack and damage to my property because I am documenting. All right, and I want to make sure I identify those who will be held accountable under the law for that. License 7FBU330BH26325, 8MVA659. That is the people of the state that are group stalking, knows exactly where I was located, approaches me as I speak the truth. The fact that the people of the state are stalkers, including stalkers in the bathroom, in the same way that you are looking in video after video after video after video after video after video after video of the Ontario police who are stalking. That's exactly what the people of the state are doing. And the fact that they are stalkers is no longer hidden. Group stalking is supposed to be the outward appearance of normalcy, everybody, but they're not. They're stalking, and the Ontario police make that vivid. Make it vivid before your face. The people of the state are stalkers, 8BZE238. And the people of the state that then attack me are proving the fact that they are stalkers. Okay, hostile to the truth that I speak about the fact that they are stalkers, 8BY8920, and that's why that violence is captured. Stericycle, engaging in what is assault and battery, monitoring at 150 East Hope Boulevard. Southwest Airlines flies over me. They are group stalking in relevant position. License plate 01006W2, Latino male, US.397962, and the back license again 01006W2. Stericycle is engaging in group stalking and monitoring on behalf of the same entity, and that company engaging in what is an assault and battery while they're engaged in terrorism with the Ontario police as the people of the state. License 93075B3, that's AB, letter look injection. 8MVA659, 8H26325, 8GCW229. Here it is. Motor N, group stalking relevant position, communication device in hand, in operation. That's unlawful use of your communication device. That's impunity. And they are engaging in what is waging an assault and battery as an entity, as I documented, 8BXL257. And they are in relevant position right now, monitoring on an ongoing basis, while aware of the fact that they're being documented. Just like that stalker you see on video walks right up to me, All right, you're talking about 12 o'clock in the morning, knows exactly what I'm stating, and that is the stalker. The people of the state, all of them are stalking right now with the same Ontario police who was stalking right now. That's what they're doing. License 6TCK176, and that's why you're going to prosecute. ABZE238, and again, ABL, parked at 150 East Holt Boulevard. You're talking about what is federal prison, okay? This is impunity. You're looking at impunity at its finest, including especially Union Pacific. All right, engaging in ongoing harassment, group stalking with the entity all night. These demons that remain after engaging in a physical attacks, breaking glass in order to wake me up, and Union Pacific providing ongoing train activity, amplified audible activity, harassment, group stalking, demonic activity. 5 NQC 563, 8 U.S.S 068, 8 CJD 478, 6 VLZ 979, engaging in surveillance after engaging in what is an assault and battery and stalking and terrorizing with the Ontario police in operation of their communication device, monitoring while Union Pacific is audible activity, doing so with impunity. 8 CJD 478. It's 7:43 a.m. They're engaged in surveillance, parked on Lemon, right here. Well, you can hear the train. I'm right here at the Emporia. I'm approaching Emporia, which is a dead-end street behind the museum. And they're parked on Lemon in operation of a communication device, monitoring with the minions in their commercial vehicles at 150 East Holt. The minions that are inside of the San Bernardino County building, which is 150 East Holt, where the Ontario police is flying all around me, including around the perimeter, including 150 East Holt last night, stalking all night. The entity is still stalking right now, including the Ontario police. And what you hear is audible activity, and it's the prosecution of the name of a company whereby you can identify who is engaging in the elements of monitoring with the entity, and that includes Union Pacific, and this is Union Pacific specifically and intentionally, in the same way that they use the method of a train to stalk with audible activity. Union Pacific engaging in what is an attack, an ongoing terrorizing environment, demonstrating and communicating hostility, which is demonic, while the entity physically attacks me. And the entity is flying over me by helicopter because I'm speaking the fact that the people of the state are stalkers. The entity is flying over, SHKBAKE, engaging in assault and battery. And the entity doing donuts at this corner of the Emporia Lane. That's what Southwest Airlines and all those commercial airline planes are going to be prosecuted for. Again, sexual violence. This is how you're understanding what is demonic activity, and that violence is occurring via companies, sexual violence occurring via companies, stalking occurring via companies. And while they are using these commercial airline planes, engaging in assault and battery and ongoing terrorism on behalf and in concert of the police, that is, again, the shutdown of those companies. As you are witnessing that violence that I'm subject to, that is the grounds of removing those companies from existence. That's the grounds of draining their pockets. That's the grounds of criminal prosecution. You're not hiding behind any sense of anonymity with a company name. Crossing path, engaging in assault and battery, 65616V1, Latino male, coming down at this dead end under the fake sun to engage in what is ongoing monitoring with aware of the fact, monitoring with Union Pacific, audible activity. They're monitoring together with the Ontario police. That ongoing obsessive stalking is underway right now with the people of the state that are stalkers. Knowing exactly what bathroom stall I'm in, knowing exactly what I'm doing in a bathroom stall, knowing exactly where I'm at, and stalking at all times where I'm sleeping, as I say whatever it is that I state, which is the truth about them. 7DJF 993, assault and battery. And that's assault and battery by government. That's a whole other level of a federal prosecution that I'm going to prosecute them for. 6TCK 176, 7YSL 843, 6TL 1245. And understand what Union Pacific just did right now. All they did was go forward with the train. All they did was go forward with the train and go right back the opposite direction, pacing on the train tracks. And that's demonic activity. It's not even the actual train. That level of volume, it's demonic. And you also can't hear it at 630 North Fern.
and they're focusing on that, pacing with the train, because I'm over here documenting. That's why you're going to prosecute Union Pacific, the people of the state, engaging in what is an assault and battery as an entity last night. That's what Union Pacific engaged in, 8XCK471, and it's a matter of video documentation, and they did so attacking me with the Ontario Police Department on behalf of the Ontario Police Department. License 8E76628. 8XQ8362, 7NVU308, 8MPL069, 8SRG946, 6JQL130, 6VFS328, 5SRT132, 7MTY287, 8BKG770, 5VAP664, 7PKD379, I already read that one already. 7ZQL788, 7MBV621, 7YAL323, I believe. 8VNE558, 8YJC687, J643RO. Hello, Allied Universal?
Yeah.
Okay. They're monitoring as well, and they engage in assault and battery as well. 7YAL323, 8EOD365, 7XKN341. 8XZD334. They're monitoring right now while approaching wearing a badge representing Allied Universal engaged in group stalking. 8BHJ845, 8AFU247, 6FQE773. Monitoring with this demon that's parking using their vehicles as light. Union Pacific is pacing on the tracks, 5YEF458. And they're at 150 East Holt, that's the San Bernardino County building. Group stalking, just like they are at 1627 East Holt Boulevard, 8EAD094, 8AOC027, 6ZGW639, 8TLU214, 8THD215, 6AFX993. That's exactly why Union Pacific is literally, what they did was joke. They went back and forth. They went east on the train tracks, concentrating right here where the museum is, and went right in the opposite direction, west. And that's why you hear the entity is second by second. That's what I'm documenting at the museum. That's what their entity is doing. But like I said, it's demonic activity. There's no required train while Satan is surrounding me with audible activity reminiscent of the sound of a train. All right, 8HOY747, SNDYRE. In the same way that the sun is not remaining directly over your head from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. It's the demonic, okay? 8RVK220, 8MDV269, 32350, handicap. Engaging in an assault and battery. An assault and battery as an entity engaged in federal stalking. This is terrorism. It's another iteration of ongoing terrorism, physical attack, and doing so on behalf of the Ontario Police Department, who are stalking right now via their presence, group stalking. San Bernardino County, located at 150 East Holt Boulevard in Ontario, California. Allied Universal is a company relevant position inside of that building and at the parking garage, monitoring right now in relevant position. And they are engaged in that pattern of conduct. As you hear the train, they're monitoring. That's why the train is pacing back and forth, and that's also why the fake sun is over my head. It is 7:50 a.m. That's an African-American female, by the way, who was driving that license plate where I stated as I'm walking out and speaking about Allied Universal, and she's using her lights on her vehicle, parking where I'm going to be walking out of the parking garage. She's stalking in the path and using her form of parking to go to work as her outward appearance of stalking in the path with light, the same exact P.O.C. All right, that's a demon. It's an African-American female, and she works at 150 East Holt. And she's monitoring with the security guy that walks up to me. Your group stalking. License 5YXY344, 4TWL102. All right, and that's why Southwest Airlines is no longer flying over the side of the museum. They're remaining specifically on the south side of my person, amplifying activity where I'm located, not amplifying activity over the museum where they are over there. It's sounding where I'm at. And that is, again, Southwest Airlines, United Airlines, engaging in what is an assault and battery. Physically attacking me is what Southwest Airlines and United Airlines engaged in, while they are still stalking on behalf of that same exact Ontario Police Department, obsessively following me around and harassing and seeking to intimidate with helicopters. That's what Southwest Airlines is doing, stalking by airplanes, using their planes.
while they are aware also of the fact that's also relevant to the terrorism that the Ontario International Airport essentially is engaging in, because they know that they're being documented. License 5WKD351, Brian's Automotive, engaged in an ongoing assault and battery. They're monitoring right now, group stalking on behalf of the Ontario Police Department. 3TDH105, 7CCS 957, Andy's Burgers. Group stalking with minions who are stalking via a drive-thru. 8MGA 546, assault and battery by an entity. 7YUD002, 28584A3. 7GQL610, assault and battery by an entity. The City of Ontario, stalking with a dumpster truck, engaging in what is stalking in the B&G Plaza right now at 7:52 a.m. using that vehicle as a method of stalking with light activity, and you're witnessing the treachery that are the people of the state. As you see them attack me, you're looking at the City of Ontario attacking me, and they are still stalking right now. All right, and that's when I say many of them are going to federal prison, that's exactly what I mean. You're going to snatch them out of these dumpster trucks where they're stalking American citizens and physically attacking them. That's what the City of Ontario engaged in on video. License plate 8LXJ742, and stalking with light activity on behalf of the Ontario Police, 1560779, stalking with audible activity. And Andy's Burgers is monitoring with the City of Ontario on behalf of the Ontario Police. This demon is emptying garbage in directed light. License 6ZIW603. They're emptying garbage in directed light under the fake sun. That's why it doesn't matter what these demons want you to focus on as their activity. They're doing it in the specific environment. And they're doing it while they're engaged in assault and battery by an entity. That's the City of Ontario, 33164C3, 8XDT281. And it is 7:53 a.m. The entity is going to federal prison. City of Ontario is specifically identified not only by municipality, but the minions with the tattoo on the neck, likes to wear the cowboy hat or the farmer's hat, engaging in stalking at the museum. That's the same City of Ontario. They're going to federal prison, engaging in assault and battery. In addition to multiple counts of criminal summoning, they're going to federal prison. Andy's Burgers is in here monitoring. Hi. Hello. What time is it right now? It is 7:54 a.m. 04814L3, pacing under the fake sun in direct light. This is stalking with the Ontario Police Department. All right, the obsessive stalking pattern, the obsessive stalking habits of the people of the state is no mystery. Look at the stalkers that are the Ontario Police Department. Obsessive stalking. What do you think the people of the state are doing? They're doing the exact same thing. And this is just a common sense argument. I have fully established the fact that they're stalkers. These stalkers, as I'm talking about demons patrolling in the bathroom, that's obsessive stalking while they know I'm documenting it. They don't even have a rock to hide under. You're stalking with the police who are engaged in obsessive stalking. All right? And they engaged in an assault and battery together. While they're stalking together, they're going to be prosecuted. You're talking about going to federal prison for attacking me, damaging my property. That's 04814L3. This is 9BCW028, has no right to engage in stalking with the police, and is doing so with knowledge of the fact that their criminal activity is being documented, and is doing so after engaging in what is an assault and battery by an entity, and is still not deterred. You're going to federal prison. 7DXP729, surveillance in the B&G Plaza parking lot under the fake sun. 6EQJ965. Engaging in an assault and battery, monitoring with these demons, sitting at the bus stop, sitting on these little concrete stalls over here, maintaining surveillance, demons stalking in the path. This is the Ontario Police Department that's stalking me obsessively by helicopter. 7VXF087, lining up outside of Clinica Medica, California, where those demons wearing scrubs are monitoring and group stalking on behalf of the Ontario Police Department. Lining up outside of that venue is group stalking on behalf of that Ontario Police Department. License 6NPW544, 6E88350, 7VQA916. They are directly engaged in that criminal conduct with the Ontario Police and engaging in what is an assault and battery as an entity. That's a whole other federal level of engaging in that criminal conduct. That's an assault and battery that's unprecedented, and I'm going to prosecute them for it. Oh, you want to stalk somebody in plain sight? 7:58 a.m. 8PDG878, 7ZKH296, 8UZG850, 8GIU293,
7FJR144, 5ZWX607, 6ZWG627, 8MRN763, GOPACGO, 7KXJ467, 7KKG747. These are demons, all right? And these are third parties engaging in assault and battery on behalf and in concert with the Ontario Police. 8FY931, I believe that's it. 8YXL941, SOTO, TKG, assault and battery. D, it's towing, assault and battery. Has been monitoring for years, all right? A sex offender, terrorizing with directed light and engaging in what is an assault and battery with that same Ontario Police who they've been group stalking with for a term of years now. It's 8:04 a.m. License plate 7TDN897 is exiting the BNG Plaza. 8BXG188. Brink Security, engaging in kidnapping with the Ontario Police and engaging in what is assault and battery on behalf of the Ontario Police, who they are still monitoring with. Crossing path on Sultana. It is 8:04 a.m. 9AAT283, under the fake sun. License 8ZTA577, 7YVZ666, 8CV, I can't see that one, 8EOJ932, 8CFR406, 06978E2, 7DCY749, 7008OB3. 9G66089, Armin's truck line, engaging in what is an assault and battery as an entity, terrorizing with the Ontario Police, physically attacking me in assault and battery with the Ontario Police Department, engaging in surveillance together. That pattern of conduct continues underway. They are the same entity. License plate 7FRB676, 8VZE783, 6XJM923, 7ZXM006. And this is that obsession that you see the Ontario Police demonstrate, stalking a helicopter. That's exactly what the people of the state are demonstrating right now. Still obsessively pacing around me, monitoring. 580664W2. License plate 592JZ handicap 18701T1. RKV0733. That's Texas. Because that's exactly what this is. You have a crowd of demons sitting at a bus stop, group stalking. All right, monitoring me while the entity is stalking by the Ontario Police, maintaining presence, group stalking at a bus stop where I'm standing documenting. They're under a fake sun. They're engaging in what is maintenance on behalf of that demon-possessed agency who is seen in hundreds of videos stalking me. This is how the Ontario Police is still stalking right now. 7TPA418. This is relevant to the way I'm going to prosecute them also for that physical violence that they engage in. This demon flashing light, 7GIV463. License plate 8WFZ 764, I believe. 59798C2, that's CMAX. 8SGK732, engaging in an assault and battery, physically attacking me while stalking and monitoring me. Hostile demons, that's why they attacked me. It is 8:07 a.m. That term demon, that has legal relevance. You're understanding the threat to the public that the demon possessed are 8JVL579, 7LKF791, 7Y10986, 5HAH438, 4AYB664, 8EOG500, 6DLL576, 7RKK110, 8T39750, TMASTER 7WHE568, 8VZB038, 7574, I can't really see that one. 8BQH652, 8LJB659. And the Southwest Airlines is flying directly over the BNG Plaza, not flying over the south side of the museum over me, okay? Maintaining presence on the south side of my person as I migrate to the BNG Plaza. 6SQW114. 98NU576, that is the Southwest Airlines, that is the Ontario International Airport, an entity I'm identifying by a location and address, engaging in what is an assault and battery as an entity, placing me under surveillance. 6URX206, Ontario International Airport, using airplanes to do so.
All right, Ontario International Airport, this is the entity doing so as the state of California in the place. This is the state of California acting amongst the people who are using commercial airline planes and know that they're being documented while they're both attacking and while they are still stalking me as I move about, and the fake sun is here at the B&G Plaza. I want to be clear, as I'm capturing the Ontario International Airport using planes the other day, after 4 p.m., I want to be clear, it's on the opposite side of the Ontario Town Square townhomes. AWQL250, 6UXA327, 7MPD971, 8RSE885, 8HXT157. These are indeed demons who engaged in assault and battery. 8NCJ799. An assault and battery by an entity is grounds of federal prison. You have a lot of people that are going to federal prison and they're not getting out. 5FHB268. 7RQM024. This is what an entity, the Ontario International Airport, is participating in. The Ontario Police, 8HRM462. Operation of their communication device. Group stalking with the Ontario Police. And so is the Ontario International Airport. So is Union Pacific. It's 8:09 a.m. That's Union Pacific demonstrating impunity while you hear that sound of train activity and under a fake sun. The fake sun that remains over me as I document on the side of the Ovid Family Community Library, and much of the same demons who I capture in images are group stalking on the Sunday afternoon after 4 p.m. and the fake sun is remaining over me at the Ovid Family Community Library. That's just on the opposite side of these Ontario Town Square townhomes. This is not the sun. All right, and this is Union Pacific to be prosecuted while you hear that ongoing audible activity, achieving what is monitoring while these demons are patrolling all around me, like the Ontario Police do in helicopter. License 7SAY6A4, that's impunity. You're gonna prosecute for that. 5RFG894, 6BZS868. In the same way that the entity that physically attacks me is in stalking, sitting around me, maintaining presence all around, group stalking in your face, while also physically attacking you and damaging your property, doing so on behalf of the Ontario Police Department, who are stalking obsessively, as I have fully documented and exposed. That's impunity, and I will prosecute the entity for that. Every company, all right, and every state and third-party actor. It is currently 8:10 a.m. and that's exactly what they're demonstrating while they are sitting at a bus stop, monitoring with communication devices under a fake sun, sounding amplified train activity, and pacing all around like the psychopath stalkers that they are, which you see in that video where this entity physically attacked me. License plate. It's 8:11 a.m. License plate. 6DOM109, 8TUJ433, 7FVU023, 37860X1. AO32035 Utah, that's Malmgren, that's a trucking company, directed light, 6YGZ496, 6WIN188, 6ZXN712. DGX358, 8ZFR252, and I want to be clear, the people of the state that live in relevant position monitoring while they are represented by this third party, this Latino male, this is the people of the state that is approaching me on video, stalking with the Ontario Police. This is the people of the state that live at the Ontario Town Square townhomes in relevant position. They are documenting and engaging in what is an assault and battery and damage to my property as an entity placing me under surveillance and stalking in the path while they live in relevant position monitoring with the Ontario Police, who are, for that very purpose, criminal monitoring, flying in circles over me at the museum. 8HSA545, the Ontario Town Square townhomes. Literally their leasing agreements, all right, are evidence of their presence, and I will prosecute every single last one of them. They are still engaging in monitoring right now. Monitoring with the demons who are pacing via traffic. This is not ongoing traffic, everybody going to work. These demons are stalking, obsessively stalking, after they engage in physically attacking me. That's impunity. 86586W2. 97154R2, group stalking with the Ontario Police who cross path, including Omnitrans. License 8UUV622. Omnitrans' license plate 1302446. Bus 1361, and they're monitoring with the Ontario Police who cross path right now at 8:13 a.m. License 7UIX186. License 8VQC744. The Ontario Fire Department, they are engaging in what is an assault and battery as an entity. They're at 425 East B Street. That's where their venue is located. They're monitoring while the Ontario Police is flying over by helicopter. 7FRZ771. They're group stalking while the entity is also physically attacking me, which I capture on video. 5XML332. The Metro 102 apartments at 102 Lemon Avenue in Ontario, California, documented engaging in what is an assault and battery as an entity, monitoring with the Ontario Police Department, B580E1. Monitoring with the Ontario Police Department, who was flying over me, swirling over me by helicopter, and as I speak the fact, because that's a fact, it's an established fact, you are stalking. You're stalking in the same way. You're looking at the stalker, keep using a helicopter. That's how much of a stalker the Ontario Police Department are. Over and over and over again, night after night after night, year after year, the people of the state are stalkers, demon-possessed, sex-offending minions who are stalking. This is a minion driving a bus, documented engaging in what is assault and battery. As I've already shown, the sex offenders and the minions that are omnitrans, and they cease to exist. They shall cease to exist on many other grounds, aside from what is physically attacking me as an entity last night, monitoring and group stalking with the Ontario Police, which omnitrans just did right now while that demon driving an Ontario Police vehicle crosses path. All right, and again, that's license 1302446, and they're stalking the path with light activity, bus 1361. At the B&G Plaza under what is not the sun. You have no legal argument. You're not operating a business. You are group stalking with the Ontario Police, and you engaged in documented conduct and assault and battery as an entity, and you are still stalking. Vehicle 1039 crossing path with omnitrans, and that is seen on the surveillance cameras of omnitrans as well. This is intentional conduct in the same way that the entity is physically attacking, and I'm documenting, and they're going to be prosecuted for that. The Ontario Police Department is going to federal prison. I'm documenting the people of the state. All right, you have what are people that are going to federal prison for that, companies that are going to cease to exist for that. This is speaking to federal stalking as an entity. It's terrorism. 7UBB516, and terrorism is substantial grounds to remove from existence companies engaging in what is the violation of human beings. Okay, violation is substantial grounds to do so. And that's what they're doing while they're group stalking. And I'm documenting the physical violence that this entity engages in while I document the fact that they're obsessed stalkers who are also demons. All right, and that's why that demon walks right up to me knowing exactly where I'm at, knowing exactly what I'm saying as I'm saying it. 7FPR281, an assault and battery by an entity. Monitoring with the Ontario Police Department. That's multiple grounds of federal prison. 8FJ, I can't really see that one, 6N48333, and they're stalking at the S.I.I.S Liquor. S.I.I.S Liquor, this license plate of this third party, has been engaged in monitoring for years. License plate 6NPW544, and is monitoring with minions who are coming to his market to stalk me, and they're doing together with the Ontario Police who are pacing under the fake sun. And it is, by the way, 8:16 a.m. That's an African American female driving that vehicle with that license plate. License 6UYV306, 6WYV731, Nelson's Produce 80164N1, 3NSG747, 72010Z2. 166L45 Nevada, 7UOC293, 7WAU725, that's an Asian couple in operation of their communication device. That's unlawful operation. 7ZGU800, they're monitoring. It's unlawful operation of your communication device. You don't exercise any First Amendment rights to do that. They're monitoring with the Ontario Police, who are obsessive stalkers, as they have revealed to the world, because all I did was document it. And it is evidence showing what are the stalkers as I stated it before this entity engaged in a physical attack of my person, an assault and battery by an entity. An unprecedented level of physical violence by an entity that's placing you under surveillance and is hostile to being prosecuted. You'll sit in federal prison for that. The Ontario Police Department is going to be disbanded. They're also going to federal prison. I am documenting the people of the state who are going to sit in federal prison as well. License 8BBM992. Impunity is directly relevant to that. Impunity is directly relevant to your going into what is a mental institution, and it's not for insanity. These are psychopaths that engage in, just as you saw last night, knowledge of they know exactly what they're doing. They are engaging in what is waging violence as they are hostile to documenting their criminal conduct. That's a violent psychopath, and you saw it on video. I'm not being hyperbolic, nor do I have to be when I'm describing the reality of a condition that you cannot physically perceive. 7LJJ695. You're dealing with Satan. All right. I mean, you're witnessing Satan attack me, and that is the people of the state. That's Satan that's stalking me by helicopters with the name Ontario Police Department all over it. That's Satan. That's the Ontario Police Department right now, group stalking right now. Just like they provide that evidence. I mean, you're talking about what is to your own demise, stalking me by helicopter, and then you want to engage in physical violence. You're proving what I just stated. Not only that, it's evident you're going to federal prison for that. That's license plate 622BG handicap. CA50N72 paper 1565184, City of Ontario, 7998A
hold on, 79984A1, 5CAU 978. This is impunity. 6B17592, 8YJX058, 4YRN 404. This is impunity. They are under the fake sun stalking. They're not doing anything other than the pattern of conduct. 8VEP 544. You are stalking under the fake sun and indirected light, and they've been doing this for years. And that impunity that they've demonstrated for years, it's culminating into what is physical violence. You're going to federal prison. 5MYC 414, 8LAS 178, license 6BHA 736, license 8NLN 004. And this is what an entity is doing while they know you are documenting it. They know I'm not just documenting. I don't just have 1 or 2 random videos with events that you can't, that are random, and it's kind of difficult to correlate, group stalking that you're alleging you're subject to because you have such a little bit of documentation. They did it to somebody who, they're surrounded with evidence. 7ZJP901. They did it to someone who was literally creating legislation to deal with them because it's not adequate at its current state. Imagine what they are doing to people across the country, they being the entity, because this is the state of California system. This is what they're doing across states, in states across the country. Imagine what they're doing to people who are in a far less position than I am. They don't have documentation. They don't have documentation that's rising to any level that anybody's going to bat an eye at. They may not have the legal skill set to in any way argue on behalf of represent their own interests, okay? You're talking about what is very, very bold conduct, very audacious. As you physically attack me on video while the police are stalking me by helicopter. You did that in the same video. They literally did that. That is speaking to the psychopaths that are the people of the state. 8ZLT287. In addition to stalking under a fake sun and fleeing directed light, engaging in surveillance in plain sight, 8TSF609, stalking with the Ontario Police, sitting right behind me with their headlights on, group stalking while the entity flies over by commercial airline planes, which is the Ontario International Airport. All right, it is currently in there engaged in unlawful operation of their communication device, engaging in what is surveillance. It's 8:20 a.m. What you are witnessing is an ongoing obsessive endeavor to continue stalking. That ongoing obsession, which is the same obsession you see demonstrated, illustrated by the Ontario Police Department. You're not doing anything other than stalking under the fake sun. Nothing. There is nothing that you can do either to make it look like you're doing anything other than stalking under the fake sun. The stalking conduct that you're engaged in, guess what? The police have told on you. 8XON771, you're stalking with them. And guess what? The environment that I've also revealed that you're stalking in, it's telling on you. 00480Z2, and you are going to sit in federal prison. They're engaged in criminal surveillance. A whole pack of Latino males is sitting in that vehicle, engaged in surveillance behind me. If they're not natural-born citizens, they're deporting those minions out of the country. 6SGA625, these minions are monitoring on the roads and the highway. 6LZB441, this is called pacing, and these demons engaged in this conduct sitting in the parking lot behind me. This is what they're doing all the time. All I'm telling you now today, on another day, is the fact that this entity engaged in what is physically attacking me, again, on video, while the Ontario Police Department demons are obsessively stalking in helicopter. E703D0. I've documented ongoing criminal surveillance by the people of the state. This is what surveillance is, pacing around in relevant position under the fake sun. This is how the Ontario Police Department is engaging in what is surveillance. They're sitting around in relevant position and pacing with these minions, crossing path, and stalking in relevant position, monitoring on communication devices with the people of the state. That's why they're going to federal prison, because I'm documenting today physical harm that I suffer, property damage while you are physically assaulting me while I am documenting the entity that is stalking in a helicopter. That is the same concerted conduct. They are engaged in concerted conduct stalking, concerted conduct monitoring, concerted conduct attacking. 6XUW211. And while they want to engage in physically attacking you, they still continue stalking you. Yes, you go to federal prison. I can say it in however many variations you want me to put it, it equals federal prison. License 8U72275. And this is separate and apart from the Ontario Police Department. Let me be clear, the fate of the Ontario Police Department is sure. License 8NON840-07691F2, Dewey Pest Control. That company also engaging what is an assault and battery, and those third parties operating that vehicle. 8XAL439, 4YXF550, City of Ontario 1476055, License 6ZAA521. It looks like they just picked up some random ghettos and put them in a City of Ontario vehicle, by the way. That's what the United States Postal Service has done before. 5WPW259, given some ragamuffin access to a United States Postal Service vehicle to come and stalk and terrorize me, running around in circles at night with flashlights, and then hopping in a USPS vehicle where nobody's delivering mail on Christmas Eve at 10 o'clock at night. All right, or the day of Christmas at 10 o'clock at night. This is documented, and this is what the entity does while you're documenting it, and this is why nobody's escaping anything, because of the conduct that an entity engages in, including physical violence, All right, monitoring with the Shiro's liquor. This is a demon of Andy's Burgers walking around, not flipping burgers, but walking around with a leaf blower, stalking with noise under the fake sun. Everybody working at Andy's Burgers is catching a federal case. They've engaged in multiple acts of criminal summoning, and this demon is walking around inside of Shiro's liquor in relevant position monitoring. 8 NUC 761, 294 1227, 8 EGV 716, 5 USD 098. Under no circumstances is the sun ever going to be over the B&G Plaza, as it is now, as I documented, before 8 o'clock in the morning. And as I've already documented before, well before 8 o'clock in the morning. And then you're talking about on the opposite side of the same apartment building over me at the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library. 32715K2, 5S46925, 8EXX404. And by over me, I mean on the same side of the street, on the same side of Euclid Avenue, moving in the direction which is north to be over me at the Ovitt Family Community Library area, and no movement whatsoever in any direction west, obviously, to remain over me at the Ovitt Family Community Library, which is again on the opposite side of these apartments that are on Holt Boulevard, which is Ontario Town Square Townhomes and Metro 102. This is what I just documented the other day. Sunday, as I'm leaving, the fake sun remains over me while these companies who I'm going to prosecute, the Ontario International Airport, engaging in what is an assault and battery. This is how you're able to use an address to prosecute for physical violence, sexual violence, and group stalking. 6WXH477, because that's what the entity is doing. Those are the resources that the entity is utilizing. All right, and you're providing no escape from identification, documentation, prosecution, or federal prison at all. License 8SZY003. And that is, by the way, the reality of what is demonic conduct. Satan uses whatever vessel is available. Satan hiding behind what are, for example, company names. And that's not hidden, because these company names are spitting around directed light as well. Stalking. License, this is bus 2344. This is license plate. Hold on. 1545683. Engaging in assault and battery, that's Omnitrends. Alrighty, and this is also Omnitrends that engaged in kidnapping while they are continuously monitoring me. They're also documented engaging in kidnapping. SPECEV1, monitoring with the Sheriff's Department, monitoring while an ongoing kidnapping is underway, and that was pursuant to the fictitious prosecution, MWV 8Y, let me get this license plate, 8YNC992. This is CB10P32. Omnitrends engaging in what is monitoring while kidnapping is underway. This is the entity that is monitoring while the ongoing ceaseless pattern of conduct remains underway. You're still stalking with the Ontario Police Department, who is engaging in providing me video of the fact that they're obsessed stalkers using helicopters to do so. Guess what? The Ontario Police Department is still stalking right now, and you're stalking with them. You are documented engaging in what is not the operation of any lawful business whatsoever, separate and distinct from an ongoing pattern of conduct. You were also under the fake sun. You were also engaging in what is the directed light conduct, speaking to demon possession. A terrorist who was stalking and documented engaging in what is captured on video, an assault and battery against my person with that same demon-possessed agency, the Ontario Police Department. That is evidence against Omnitrends. All right, Omnitrends is a violent sex offender. They're monitoring right now, molesting me while I'm on the bus with directed light, surrounding me with directed light while I'm not on the bus, and molesting with directed light. These are demons driving buses, demons whom I've identified by employee number and or images, demons who will also be prosecuted for seeking to avoid identification while they put up fake employee numbers on their display with knowledge of the fact that I'm documenting them, and demons identified by both individually and as a company collectively engaging in an assault and battery on behalf of the entity, that is the Ontario Police, who are monitoring via Omnitrends. Stalking with light activity. All right, that's a prosecution of a company engaging in what is a physical assault and battery while they're placing me under surveillance, which is a matter of video documentation. Omnitrends is fully engaged in that. That's documentation of what is already exists. The fact that Omnitrends is a third party. Student Transportation of America, the same. Student Transportation of America Crossing Path, and Omnitrans is a third party that is fully established, and they are doing nothing other than what is monitoring with that Ontario Police Department. And this entity, this third party that is Omnitrans, physically attacked me last night and damaged my property. Bus 2344, loitering in relevant position. This is impunity. License plate 1545683, and directed light while that demon drives off of that bus. That's impunity. It is currently 8:29 a.m. 7 YPW 689, 8 UVK 113, 8 GNZ 734, 7 LUS 530, 6 SMP 390, 4 BLW. I can't really see the rest of that one. 92G0415. That's RDM Trucking. License BG17C43 paper 87082J2. License 6EWG810, 8FGU014, 9BKF061, 6MYP942. Engaging in an assault and battery as an entity. Placing me under surveillance, group stalking with and on behalf of the Ontario Police Department, and documented engaging in what is an assault and battery as I documented it. I'm identifying more, and you're talking about every single last one that's going to be prosecuted and specifically documented. This is, again, documentation of an entity, but I'm naming those who will specifically pay for it, all right? And this is getting up subject to that physical violence, and I'm identifying that same exact entity that's obsessively stalking. Still, impunity. 7 UJC081 after you document them physically attacking you. 7 ROZ625, and that's exactly what's underway under the fake sun. All right, because this is not the sun that's over the Shiro's Liquor. And also, as I'm documenting, as I remain inside of the Ovitt Family Community Library, which is, again, north on the opposite side of this apartment building that I'm looking at, the Ontario Town Square, and it's over my head. You're talking about in the afternoon at 2:39 p.m. You're remaining over my head at 4:05 p.m. After 6 o'clock in the evening, on the same side of the street over me. This is not the sun, and this is impunity while they are still stalking after physically attacking me. And I will be prosecuting them as I'm naming specific actors. All right, you're talking about what is paying the price, sitting in a federal prison for it. License plate. Loomis is crossing path 8TUF273. And those third parties that engage in surveillance, it's a pack of Latino males. They go inside of Ultra Personnel. Ultra Personnel is group stalking as well. It's a facilitating venue. All they did is going to a building where they're engaging in surveillance. Okay? License 8Z71686. 9AJE025, TZZRIDE 6KCT269. $79900L1, Good Faith Medical Transportation, engaged in an assault and battery. There are demons operating that commercial vehicle, group stalking, and doing so with impunity after physically attacking me as an entity, and it's stalking still today, right now, while they know I'm documenting it, and doing so on behalf of the Ontario Police Department. License 8YKF249, 8JUV695, 29033V1, 7FCU758, 8JKH598, and it's 8:32 a.m. Amtrak, this is the coach. The coach vehicle is crossing path with the Ontario Police Department. Vehicle 1032, Ontario Police is crossing path under the fake sun on Hope Boulevard right here. Shiro's Liquor, the B&G Plaza, Andrew's Burgers, they're monitoring the Ontario Town Square, Metro 102. They are engaging in what is an assault and battery, and they're still stalking right now with the Ontario Police, who are crossing path. License 7VLE122, including Amtrak, all right? License 8JTJ384. UXB 499, I believe. ZNW 939. License plate 8YEV714, 7EQK986, 6BZD412. Engaging in assault and battery with the Ontario Police, including rider. License plate 2315024. Rider engaging in assault and battery, engaging in surveillance with the minions who are sitting in the parking lot behind me still remaining, monitoring with the Ontario Police, and they know that they're being documented. Not only are they physically attacking me as an entity, they're engaging in surveillance with the Ontario Police, who are also going out of their way to engage in pacing around me, again, using their vehicles to do so. Okay? This is the Ontario Police Department that is serving to prosecute the people of the state, because they're going to federal prison. All right? They were engaging in an attack on behalf of the Ontario Police. 656, I can't really see that one. You can scratch that one. 8TKF290. 8NB7796, license 8, or I can't see that one, 8SDK759, 7, I can't see that one either. And again, that is engaging in surveillance, 8TSF609, a vehicle full of 3 dark-skinned Latino males. And they do enter into third-party facilitating venue ultra personnel sitting in relevant position engaged in surveillance right now. So all they did was get out of their vehicle, having no right to be in relevant position on behalf of the police. Group stalking, monitoring, surveillance. After having been documented engaging in what is a physical attack as an entity, an assault and battery, damage to my personal property because I'm documenting the fact that you're an obsessed stalker with the Ontario Police. 11119K2, that's called impunity. And that's also separate grounds of federal prison. Loitering in relevant position, and also group stalking with the Ontario Police while you're terrorizing and harassing together. And you're also engaging in what is physical violence, which is documented as a matter of video documentation. I will play this evidence to prosecute every single last one. License plate 6EMH582. XVZ236. It's 8:36 a.m. It is 8:39 a.m. 8WJD475, BX216 handicap, 7KBG690, 36015U2. Z1 7RGA 983. I can't really see that one. You start over. 8ZNT318. 8LTT120. 6UAV992. 8SYZ938. 1516537. That's Chaffee Joint Union High School District. License 8R21912, 7KCP889, 1217 1K3. Columbia Stone Products. License 5NOPE or 5NDPE. License 6MRY155. And that 5NDPE or NOPE is a Mustang, a dark gray Mustang. It's got a black license plate with the yellow characters, so it has less than the customary 7 characters. It's 8:41 a.m. License 50731Y2. Aloha Solar Power, engaging in assault and battery as an entity, group stalking, monitoring, engaging in terrorism with the Ontario Police Department on behalf of the Ontario Police Department. What I am reciting, license plates, third parties that I'm identifying, taking pictures of, engaging in surveillance. This is the Ontario Police that is stalking me by helicopter. This is the people of the state they're stalking. This is what that is. It's ongoing. It's not just overnight. Obviously, they also fly over me during the day, but this is ongoing stalking conduct, and this is what the people of the state are doing while I'm identifying them, and they are still doing it. That's called impunity. License plate. That's relevant to prosecuting them. License 6FTZ318. License 5BJA664, 6XJG272, 7PHP958, 6YYL375, 8SVN 516, excuse me, 7THS 607. That's a demon making noise. That's literally Satan making noise around me. That's called impunity. You can prosecute the entity for that. They're monitoring together. And any thinks that they're going to attack you, they're going to terrorize you, stalking you, following you around in helicopters, in their police vehicles, engaging in what is molestation and terrorism with their demonic activity with directed light, following you around all day under what is a fake sun while they're focusing on you. You'll sit in federal prison for that. And that I'm revealing why the very policy that I have advocated, that I have created, is necessary. License 6YRB158. Psychopaths that you don't even know the level of psychopaths that you're dealing with. Until you name Satan, that's when you become a threat. That's when you'll see their true colors. License plate 8BZF926. License, that's impunity. License plate 7MNJ563-6163A42. G833LV, that's Utah. 8997OL2, I believe. Yeah, and that's Aerotech, JBT Aerotech. 09434T2, 8ZIL684, 13488Y1, 8TBB342. U.S.N224. It's 8:44 a.m. 28080V1, Earthwise, engaging what is impunity and assault and battery as an entity. While demons are surrounding, making all kinds of noises, Earthwise is monitoring to that. License 8RUK700, license 8JPV606, the same. Engaging in assault and battery, stalking with the Ontario Police. It's 8:45 a.m., 8SSK463. USN224, pacing around, driving in circles. That's a demon. That's what the Ontario Police Department do around me in helicopter. That's exactly what she's doing under the fake sun. That's a demon. It's 8:46 a.m. License plate 93218. That's a silver Mercedes. License 5TGX074. 2534. Hold on. 25534U1. Pinsky in City of Ontario, license 45084U1, 8F. I can't really see that one. License 36023R1. McKesson, 45196Y1, a demon driving that vehicle, engaging in assault and battery as a company, the people of the state. 70IY993, McKesson, monitoring American citizens with the Ontario Police Department. USN224 now behind me, stalking with light activity. That's impunity. License plate. And this is a third party 8USN224 with the entity that flies over by plane. That's the Ontario International Airport. License 8UND513, 8RKV871, and 8USN224 is keeping her foot on the brake, stalking with light. That simultaneity of conduct is what the demon possessed are doing in bathrooms. Stalking with the Ontario Police, who are obsessively following me around by helicopters, as you see the same entity engaging in what is physically attacking me last night. 8USN224 is going to federal prison. She's got a Costa Rica frame around her. License plate 8USN224. She paces around, drives in a circle, and then stops behind me in alignment with light. 7GUC 724 is monitoring with her. She could have a field day. She's going to federal prison. It is 8:48 a.m. ZBA 217. License 5LIF 535. License 97860U1 8JPW 992. 8A28853. 8RPW 104 6ZTR 278. 6SBK 112. And I did capture images at 8:49 a.m. The fake sun is right over me at the B&G Plaza, no longer over the whole boulevard. It's over me in the parking lot, moving as I move, under the fake sun, where she's stalking with the Ontario International Airport, flying over the B&G Plaza, not over the museum, not over the Ontario Town Square. They remain south of my person, under the fake sun, amplifying audible activity. That's the Ontario International Airport. 02509C1. The Ontario International Airport also engaged in what is an assault and battery of the American citizen that they're placing under surveillance. It's 8:49 a.m. and I captured still images where she's stalking. That's a demon stalking, and doing so with the Ontario Police Department. That is, understand, license 8 U.S.N 224. That's the Ontario Police Department. And every other third party that I'm continuously identifying. License THCCUMS. What you specifically pay attention to is how the entity engaged in a physical attack of my person, and they are demonstrating that impunity. That is the psychopath that you are removing from the public. They're a threat to society, as I'm showing you the threat to society that they are. Eight BGL 521, I believe, crossing path. It's 8:51 a.m. License plate 8TWN 727. 9ANC 263. 7EAY 652. 6Y XW 564. Omnitrans 1399979. Bus 1264. Arriving at 8:51 a.m. 65. I can't wait to see that one. I can't see that one. 60860E2, 8VHN 682, 7PR, 7PBR 558, 8WDW 834, BV72U46, United States Postal Service, Crossing Path 7ANU 367. United States Postal Service is a relevant position at 123 West Holt Street, by the way, in Ontario, and they are monitoring. That is the aspect of the federal government, by the way, engaging in physically attacking me while placing me under surveillance with the Ontario Police Department. (5CTC 810). 7PWU 902. That's the demon just making noise. San Bernardino County 1566755. Engaging in assault and battery by San Bernardino County, 9 AAH 251. Student Transportation of America, 7 JJX 223. That's an African American female with short hair. 8 KWE 675 by short hair. It looks like she's got some sort of twist contraption on her head. Looks like a high top. License plate 8 NBX 711. Seven MLD 198. This is not the sun that these demons are driving under after this entity engaged in a physical attack last night. This is impunity that it is revealing, that it's demonstrating after physically attacking me and still placing me under surveillance, stalking while they know that they're being documented. The sun is never over the B&G Plaza while it's over me at the 7-Eleven in Upland, California at the same exact time. Over me at the Upland Public Library area at the Veterans Monument. They are stalking and they're doing so with impunity after physically attacking me. License 8 UMC 573. It's 8:54 a.m. This third party captured in still images under the fake sun, stalking with the Ontario International Airport, flying over by planes while she keeps her vehicle as light activity in alignment with me in the parking spot. She is engaging in what is driving off, which is crossing paths. She's remained engaged in surveillance, remaining behind me, and engaging in that demonic conduct, terrorism, after physically attacking me, which is a matter of video documentation. She's going to federal prison. Just want to document that. License 8MXX150. YRZ716, I believe. XKJ136, 5HBX394. Pacing in and out of the B&G Plaza. These are demons. They're crossing path all around, pacing all around. This is the Ontario Police Department. Stalking via the people. License 2007 7B1, I believe. License plate 8WJD475 is exiting the B&G Plaza. It's 8:56 a.m. License 6LUC161. 4XAH185. And it's not just up in California where the entity's keeping a fake sun, where, for example, I get off of Route 83 and the fake sun's over me at the 7-Eleven in Upland, California. My documentation shows I'm in Pomona, California at this time. The fake sun is over me in Pomona, California in the morning after getting off of Route 61. The fake sun remains over me the entire time while I'm on the bus. That is Omnitrans. That is today engaging in what is ongoing monitoring after physically attacking me. My documentation showing I'm already present in the city of Fontana where the sun is not remaining over the B&G Plaza while I'm standing in front of third parties who are engaged in surveillance under that environment. And also, even as I remain in Ontario, the sun would never be present north of this location over the Ovid Family Community Library until the end of the day. All of this is showing what is stalking, and this is an entity that's engaging in ongoing stalking on behalf of the Ontario Police, who are documenting engaging in obsessive stalking, and this is how they're doing on an ongoing ceaseless basis. The people of the state, 7N10184, the people of the state are stalkers. License 7GTT405. I'm also in Chino, California at the same exact time. And the fake sun is directly over my head. All right, that's speaking to what is the demon possessed who are engaging in physically attacking while they're placing you under surveillance and terrorizing you. On behalf of the police. It's 8:58 a.m. 8VKS281 7568 75683E3, I believe. 01458E3 7BGC737 5SGP958 9ABT644 6RBT762 7GDC031. That's KYB Undercar Plus, engaging in what is an assault and battery, stalking and monitoring with the Ontario Police. $7WGN667. U.S.3170215. That's MTI. That's a trucking company. Badger State Western Incorporated. That's a logo on this large truck right here across the path. It's 8:59 a.m. $6L39328. License 8WND443. Every third party, every state actor engaging in criminal summoning with the Ontario Police Department that engaged in a physical assault and battery of my person last night, they're going to federal prison. So you think back on my documentation. That's the entity that they're summoning. And that same entity physically attacked me. They're going to federal prison. That's why criminal summoning is so serious. Very, very serious criminal conduct. License plate 6HPW734. License 7FEA372 07132G. I can't see that one. 6HSE 684 91064K1 6CWT604 7UGU351 7BCA924 8SXC023. Frontier Communications, monitoring with these demons who are surrounded with noise. Frontier Communications, San Bernardino Sheriff's Department, crossing path. License 23207Y2. That's the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department that engaged in kidnapping with the Upland Police last week. And multiple acts of kidnapping with the Ontario Police. And do not forget the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court. License plate. I can't see that one. It's 9:02 a.m. That's Ontario Town Square creating audible activity. That's a demon using a lawnmower. It's under the fake sun. This is demonic activity. License 8USN224 is pacing around in the B&G Plaza parking lot still. 7VVF928. $5BND724. It's 9:03 a.m. License plate 7XLR403 6WHL759 6MOB952 7V04578 Bell Cab 0074M2 COACH 325, I believe. 8RHB 692, 6MXK 128, 8USN 224 pacing, 5GXA 166, 7ZWF 932, 7SML 237. And Bell Cab is crossing path into the fake Sen. In doing so, they're also monitoring at the Ontario International Airport. License plate 8EVB 289 is crossing path again. License 8LIN 646. Seven KPT 589. KBEAR. Seven LKT 244, 7 ZGS 690, 8 REF 083, YPO 967, I believe. 4 PG 1564 is the back license. 7 YUM 550, 8 L 5 not I can't really see that one. 7 CLA 444, 8 WZN 698, 42349 L3 Sunrise Medical Trans 08508N2. Puritan Bakery, it's crossing path. Loitering in relevant position at Andy's Burgers, 7KZZ 403, 7WRK 907. Engaging in what is assault and battery as an entity, stalking on behalf of the Ontario Police Department, criminally monitoring. License plate 97981Y2, I believe. Suppose you drive, engaging in assault and battery as an entity, engaging in stalking with the Ontario Police Department. It's 9:06 a.m. License plate 8UAZ 662, 7KWF 331, 8UNX 856, 8MAG 28. It says Riverside on it. It's a low commercial vehicle. 5DOJ 833. R, I can't really see that one. 8ZNX 826, 8BHG 093. Engaging in terrorism, stalking with the Ontario Police, monitoring. Engaging in assault and battery, children in the vehicle while they're monitoring. License 8UVH 913, that is children in the vehicle while they're engaging in terrorizing another, which they're monitoring. License, meaning monitoring the documentation. A923CO, license 7ACB 662. 7JBP 572. License 8LBJ 072. 8NSU 564. 97589B1. 59781N1. License 1399983, bus 1269, which is Omnitrans. License 8ZQC465. 8DV. I can't really see that one. You can scratch that one. License 4FRP231. YRX993, I believe. It's a black Mustang entering into the B&G Plaza. E3. It is 9:09 a.m. License 6WHM203, excuse me. Omnitrans again, 1399983, crossing path with directed light, that's impunity. They are stalking under the fake sun, that's criminal activity under the guise of a company name, engaging in assault and battery. As an entity, placing me under surveillance on behalf of the state, the stalking on behalf of the Ontario Police, they're monitoring with the Ontario Police Department. It's 9:10 a.m. ZFG431. This is the maintenance of noise. You're hearing weed whackers, lawnmowers. They're creating noise under the fake sun. This is called impunity. TEMCO, TEMCO Logistics. 299-5376, I believe. TEMCO Logistics, that's a company vehicle, engaging in assault and battery as an entity. Group stalking, 7 EFB. I can't really see the rest of them. XP56955, that's Cardenas. License 85204F1. 60382R2, I believe. License, that's called impunity. License 8SJY730. License 5WOT299. OmniRide 150, OmniAccess 1590849. This is the impunity of an entity that engages in assault and battery while engaging in federal stalking together. It is 9:11 a.m. YMN247. 8XVX167. KRZ716. The Sheriff's Department, crossing path, loitering in relevant position. 150 East Holt, where the Sheriff's Department loiters in relevant position under the fake sun and directed light, monitoring with the people who are pacing around, doing so at what is 9:12 a.m. under the fake sun. License plate 1516335. That's the San Bernardino County Sheriff. 5LRK190. License 3MA43E, Arizona. 8L39081, 58007X2, 4GSL807. Let's see, let's put on there. 6XXU223. CD39F58, paper. 4GGC409. 9AEJ 342, 5ZFP 526, 5BVY 024. Alrighty, I'm documenting the entity that's acting in multiple methods of engaging in the ongoing elements of monitoring. That includes through commercial vehicles. This is ongoing presence on behalf of the state. This is ongoing presence that is the Ontario Police that's engaging ongoing obsessive stalking by helicopter. 4866283 is the Ontario Police. 14462W2 Walnut Valley, that's the Ontario Police. And the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department, who are crossing paths as well. Stalking with law enforcement, in other words. In doing so, while they then engage in what is an attack, physically attacking me, as I document the fact that they are stalking. And that's exactly what they're doing. And the moment that I speak that truth, the entity engages in what is an assault and battery on video. This is evidence that I will hold accountable every single last one that I'm naming right now. And it's evidence that's going on the criminal record of the people of the state who are going to be prosecuted. The San Bernardino Sheriff's Department, the Ontario Police Department, and every other police department that I've also documented are they are going to be dealt with accordingly. You're talking about what is entirely illegitimate, entirely corrupt, and they engage in what are acts of violence while you document their corruption. You're talking about disbanding them. They need to cease from existence, and that goes for companies as well. 5F00785, and you're witnessing the evidence of it. License plate 8BIA689 8S SE726, City of Ontario 1390895. License 79413R2 75982F3 6UIZ072 8VRW046 7ZMB627 91345D2 8V I can't really see that one. 8UME644. I'm looking at a logo. It says Johnson Marine on a pickup truck. Crossing path. Eight AMC 977. One 16141J3. BV30U82, I believe. That's a paper plate. I can't really see it that clearly though. It is 9:17 a.m. J Cartagenas, 8ANV057. That's a third party with a with a child in the vehicle while they're engaging in terrorism, stalking with the Ontario Police. 7KPS842. 7GML868, I believe. Can't really see it that clearly. They're pacing behind at a transit. License 7JQH554, 7YJF526, 7WWR613, 6VFK085, 8RNY344. Stater Brothers crossing path in a vehicle. License plate 9E86996. San Bernardino Sheriff. Oh no, that's Los Angeles Sheriff. 8ZCY365. Crossing path into the fake sun. The entity likes to do that while it listens to me document. I've specifically documented the Los Angeles County Sheriff. They're waiting for what's coming. 8MNH769. That's criminal summoning. That's the same Ontario Fire Department that engaged in assault and battery with the Ontario Police stalking by helicopter. License 0517E. Handicap. And this is called impunity. They're monitoring with the Ontario Fire Department, and so is the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department, who crosses path going westbound on Hope Boulevard. They're on the traffic cameras. They're turning north onto Euclid Avenue right now at 9:18 a.m. The Los Angeles Sheriff's Department is documented engaging in criminal monitoring, terrorism, stalking by helicopters under a fake sun which remained over me in Los Angeles, which I specifically documented on more than one occasion, the fake sun remaining over me as I traveled from Ontario to Upland, got on Metrolink, the entity keeping the fake sun over me, and the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department, the Los Angeles Police Department, engaging in the exact same pattern of conduct. And so while they're crossing path, they are partaking in what is documentation, seeking to be identified as engaging in an assault and battery. That's exactly how they'll be prosecuted. It is 9:19 a.m. That's the Ontario International Airport, license plate 56089L3, Hexagon Purus. Purus is spelled P-U-R-U-S, Hexagon Purus, while the Ontario International Airport using planes flying over the B&G Plaza under the fake sun at 9:19 a.m. While the entity is the Ontario Fire Department using lights and sirens, those are demons. This is the entity that's also stalking by helicopter flying over the T-Mobile right now, flying south over the T-Mobile. That's the blue and white helicopter. That's the Ontario Police Department. Greg Electric, stalking and monitoring assault and battery with the Ontario Police Department. Burtech crossing path, license 55827N2, that's Vermeer, license 6SGA300, 8KMK326, Burtech is 6997H1, can't see the rest of it, license 9AAH997, 9AVE289, 14128P2, 7ZYB319, 7VVP517, 11364H1. And that is the exact entity that I'm documenting by license plate, engaging in assault and battery. And that's why they're going to federal prison. License plate, because I have hundreds of videos of the Ontario Police stalking, you already know that. 7XLS618 is going to federal prison. That's an Asian male stalking with the Ontario Police and engaged in what is an assault and battery on behalf of the Ontario Police, who was doing the exact same thing at 12:46 in the morning on video. It is currently 9:21 a.m. License plate 7RTW314. License plate, that's audible activity, monitoring with the Ontario Police, 6CKM 112 on Omnitrans bus number 2341, monitoring with the Ontario Police. That's a demon using a motorcycle as audible activity while the Ontario Police flies around by helicopter. Pay attention to the combination of the elements, audible activity under the fake sun, crossing a path, 8EPT 861, federal prison. As I already stated was the case. All right, that ongoing obsessive stalking while the entity then engages in what is a physical attack, which is captured on video, and that's why you're disbanding the Ontario Police Department and they're going to federal prison. While they are flying over the Ontario Town Square townhomes, who was also monitoring with the entity while engaged in a physical assault and battery on video, while the Ontario Police was doing the same thing, flying over me. Stalking. License 12617T1, that's Best Courier LLC. License 7TLS827. 8X30206, license 8SBT130, 6RSN588, 5COL054, UPS 296789, substantially similar. That's UPS crossing path. License 8HLV053, and that's exactly what the Ontario International Airport is doing, using commercial airline planes flying over me, doing so on behalf of the Ontario Police. Stalking 66816J1, license 8CBU696, 6FUM792, 8HAT240, while the Ontario Police is flying in circles, they're going to federal prison. 8CWN855, federal prison. 8JJK313, federal prison. License 8RKW561, federal prison. License driving a white Rubicon, crossing path, Ontario, stalking by helicopter, 8JTH158, that's an African-American female. The Ontario Police is flying above, and they're stalking together. This is the same entity that engaged in assault and battery. The Ontario Fire Department, the same. They're sounding sirens, stalking with the Ontario Police. License plate. California Baking Company. That's the
logo on the side of that white truck. License plate 6. I can't really see that one. And it is 9:23 a.m. License plate. And this is what you call impunity, and that's exactly what I stated. Removing companies, AZF FBS, that's an out-of-state license plate. 6FDM, I can't really see that one. 8CHU 696. Shiro's Liquor in relevant position already read his license plate. He's going to federal prison if he's not already subject to what is deportation, if he's not a natural-born citizen. License 9E4882. I can't really see that one. That's Pure Leaf is the logo on that truck. Crossing path on behalf, stalking me with the Ontario Police Department in commercial vehicles and in their license plates. Their vehicles with license plate 85789E1. This is that group stalking system. License 09525P1, federal prison. License plate 92033W1, that's FSM Food Service, California 160545. Group stalking with the Ontario Police. License 18510E3, 8VGD 549, I believe. Deeds towing 3791OU2, California 0338124. Stalking with direct light under the fake sun while with the Ontario Police, engaging in what is an assault and battery as an entity as well. License plate 8XDC026, and you're witnessing impunity. They are violent sex offenders, and they also engage in physical violence while you document. AWES131, license GREYSEA, license 6MHR265. And that's exactly what is underway, what is illustrated vividly while the entity is doing the exact same thing it was doing while it physically attacked me at 12:46 in the morning. All right, the entity is stalking me by helicopter outside of that Starbucks in that parking lot yesterday morning at 10 o'clock. This is the same entity, group stalking. The Starbucks personnel, Starbucks employees, Starbucks the company, 14529W2, engaging in that terrorism while I am documenting the pattern of conduct under the fake sun at the Hensley Torta building and 507 North Euclid Avenue is the Starbucks, where I then continue walking and the entity is stalking by helicopter. So I want to be clear, this is the entirety of an entity that's engaging in group stalking together. 9AKX730, that's why the entity is following me from place to place by helicopter. This same entity engaging in what is a physical attack. You are talking about what is removal from existence, the police departments, the sheriff's departments, and companies, the people of the state, in addition to what is federal prison, while the entity acts directly and vicariously. That's what's illustrated while the Ontario Police stalk and helicopter, while it knows I'm documenting it. That's why they're going to federal prison. CEMEX, CEMEX, crossing path. License plate 02614C2, 8WFT, B61, 7JRT 746, 8SFS 005, 79975C3, 8TNJ 187. Let's see that license plate. 15567B2. That's the Ontario International Airport. Understand, they're engaging in state surveillance with the Ontario Police. 72850L2. DH towing 9426003. DH towing 94270D3. Crossing path. You're witnessing demonic activity, and so you'll have demons identified under a specific company name, and that's why they're engaging in what is multiple vehicles of the same company crossing path. The its towing is shall cease to exist if that's the case. Their little shack of a company is on Hope Boulevard, I believe, and they're monitoring with the Ontario Police, who's stalking by helicopter and by Ontario International Airport using its airplanes. Stalking under the fake sun. That's direct and vicarious conduct. In doing so, this is the entirety of that entity that engaged in a physical assault and battery, which is captured on video. License plate. I'm repeating that because that's what you're cognizant of while the entity is engaging ongoing obsessive stalking. These are animals. Animals that are not escaping judgment, and what they engage in more violence and more sexual violence and ongoing criminal activity while you surround those animals with evidence. You place those animals in cages. That's what you do. They are not escaping judgment. All they do is enhance the judgment that is inevitable. Okay, that's literally what Satan is doing, and this is an entity that's engaging in satanic conduct. They're not escaping it, so the entity engages in more criminal conduct that I'm documenting, corroborating the very allegations, the very evidence that I already have. 5TAW232, that's the nature of animals that are demon possessed. License 8WAM053, an old white woman, a demon possessed group stalker engaging in assault and battery as an entity. 8XVD874, 7ATB825, 8WDF 501, I believe. 6ANY437. 8RFG803. Oh, and this third party parking over here. Let me get this license plate. 7ECA968. 8JZH569, I believe. Everybody in the B&G Plaza is stalking with the Ontario International Airport and the Ontario Police Department. This is why the entity is concentrating helicopter and plane activity. Everybody that calls themselves being at work, they're engaged in criminal surveillance. They engaged in what is a documented physical act of harm and damage to property and assault and battery. And being at work pursuant to a work schedule is called group stalking. All right, and they're being documented. And you're talking about federal prison. That's a very easy method of documenting those who will be held accountable for it, by the way. While you're hearing plane after plane and helicopter activity at the B&G Plaza, it's 9:30 a.m. That's the Ontario International Airport. That's Southwest Airlines flying over the B&G Plaza, where the fake sun remains, and it's not over the Ovid Family Community Library. It's not over the Upland Veterans Monument in Upland, California. It's right here over me at the B&G Plaza, where, by the way, I arrived late in the afternoon, as I documented days ago, and the fake sun is over the Shiro's Liquor, which is what I pointed out as I left this venue and went toward the Ovid Family Community Library. License 8WRY460, 6SQH799, 6CWG861. License 8UFU380, Student Transportation of America. 7NAK369. 27377E3 is the Johnson Marine vehicle. 8RDL396, 8RKW494, 1409336, I believe. 8LWL181, 5GSN624, Crossroads 39703P2, and Omnitrans bus 1364 is stalking with the Ontario Police. License 7JJL827. License 8FJB265, excuse me. 8078, I can't wait to see that one. 8XJR973. This is audible activity, relevant positioning. 8XOY720. 21893W2. Omnitrans Route 83 is crossing path. 7ZRS182. This is called loitering in relevant position. That's what Omnitrans is engaging in. After engaging in what is assault and battery as an entity engaged in the pattern of conduct on behalf of the Ontario Police, who are also flying over me by helicopter while I'm documenting those who are going to be accountable for engaging in an assault and battery. That's what Omnitrans is engaging in. They're not operating any lawful business. 8XLS471. It is 9:32 a.m. And that's also why Omnitrans buses are driving by and there's no sun that's remaining in the window of their buses while it remains stationary over the B&G Plaza. Contrary to what I'm documenting when I'm on those buses. You cannot see the sun remaining throughout the entirety of a route of Route 61 and 83 while you are remaining over the B&G Plaza as though that's the sun. All right, that's surveillance. 1535754, bus 1364, crossing path with directed light. Engaging in assault and battery as an entity.
Engaging in ongoing monitoring while monitoring documentation. Heart, MUECAS. They are fully engaged in that criminal system, and they are to be prosecuted for what is an assault and battery while they're engaging in terrorism on behalf of the Ontario Police Department. The people of the state physically attacked me. License 0585OY2. License 8ETC055. 80905R2, 7VJP128, 8VIDs 565, 6SRP032, 6TDM370, 61893T2, 6RIE746, 8TWX605. This is handicap 846NB, I believe. And this is ongoing obsessive stalking. While you see the Ontario police show their true obsession, their true condition, demon possession, and stalking, this is what the people of the state are illustrating. That's what this is. Stalking. License 8MUB947, AC37N98, I believe. Paper, but I can't really see it that clearly. 7PJZ483, 8BZD016. And Los Angeles Sheriff's going out of its way to cross path to partake in the pattern of conduct while I'm documenting physical violence that this entity engaged in. Understand that's intentional conduct. It's under the fake sun. And pursuant to knowledge that they know what I'm documenting, 7P22249. The Sheriff's Department, the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department that engaged in it, like I said, they're already documented. The public corruption is not limited to San Bernardino County, as I've already shown. This is a state system, and they intentionally engage in what is injecting themselves to be documented today. 6BOT809. Moments later, the Ontario Police Department fly over by helicopter. Like I said, these are animals that are not escaping judgment. They bring on themselves that ongoing enhancement for what is literally dissolving these agencies and removing these companies as well and prosecuting them, placing them in federal prison. You're not hiding behind a company name. These companies are going to be held accountable. You're talking about federal prison. You're also talking about what's a matter of justice. Companies engaging in terrorism, that is grounds to remove those companies from existence, because that's what the Ontario International Airport is engaging in, by the way. 8GQX024, just as an example. That's what the municipality, the city of Ontario is engaging in. That's what Omnitrans is engaging in. All right, even down to what are the companies that are Delta Airlines, Southwest Airlines, Amazon Prime. That's what they're engaging in, terrorism. All right, engaging in what is physically attacking one while you speak the truth, the fact that they're stalkers, obsessed stalkers, stalkers that are following into bathrooms. This entirety of this operation that you hear following into a bathroom. 6VSR145, obsessive stalking conduct by the demon possessed. They're demons, that's what's wrong with them. License 86376W2. 83872F2, 4NGR617, 6ETU898, excuse me. 8RTM528, 7KOL929, 6CKA992. Omnitrans bus 2361 crossing path. License 22521Y1. $7MXT825. It is currently 9:37 a.m. The sun is not over the Ovid Family Community Library at 9:35. It's remaining right here at the B&G Plaza, nor would the sun be present on the opposite side of this apartment building at the Ovid Family Community Library until the end of the day. That's speaking to the pattern of conduct. Just want to remind you of that, and it's remained stationary at the B&G Plaza over me since I've been here before 8 o'clock in the morning. License plate 8FDX130, Ontario Fire Department crossing path. Doritos, license 72268E3,
XTS326, Ontario Police 1614297, vehicle 1042. License 8WGE552, 8LOT, I can't really see that one. License BV497, oh, that's paper, I can't see it. 8HLB415, 8K738841, 8644OL3, 49358G3, that's Vitco Foods. BV276WO, I believe. You can scratch that one. That's a paper plate. I can't really see it. This is the concentration of plane activity over the BNG Plaza. All right, that's the pattern you're witnessing while I'm at the Ovid Family Community Library, or while I'm at the Ontario Town Square. The entity maintaining presence on the south side of my person and concentrating as though they're taking off wherever it is that I'm at. 6S TJ 989, I believe. But I can't really see that one. You could scratch that one. It's 9:39 a.m. This is documentation of the Ontario International Airport. Okay, simultaneously using planes, stalking. That's the Ontario Police using helicopters. And this is the same entity that engaged in assault and battery as an entity engaged in federal stalking. License 6CNN316, 8V, 8WVH 969, 5RIW286, 7YAR672, 6ROY088, 72864R1. City of Ontario, pacing 1560780, 1516. I can't really see the rest of them. Those are two City of Ontario dumpster trucks pacing going in opposite directions. Demons stalking in dumpster trucks. All right. It is 9:40 a.m. These are demons engaging in surveillance sitting around me at the bus stop where I'm documenting. That's called impunity. Stalking 33732T2. License plate 9AKF374-000-5953. United States Postal Service crossing path. 123 West Hope Boulevard is the United States Postal Service stalking with the Ontario Police. They remain in relevant position. 7XDY895. 6Y895. Excuse me, 6Y89352. 6RMD633. 7W44464. 1589379 Ontario municipalities. That's the City of Ontario, another aspect of the City of Ontario. CD10H56 paper, 7PMT452, 6H48363, I believe. Kegels, crossing path. Documented molestation with directed light in 2021 at the Kegels venue at campus, where I'm revealing the demon possession of this very entity. 246640Z1 that's going to be prosecuted. Also, again, the animals that they are sex offenders, engaging in demonic conduct, molesting your person with light while they're placing you under surveillance. 8YQP994. Also engaging in what is physical attacks, assault and battery as an entity, as I captured on video as well, with the Ontario Police Department. Ready? That is Kegels in a vehicle crossing path. License plate 7UIC026. License 6TMU158. City of Ontario crossing path again. The Ontario City Hall is in relevant position. They're engaged in state surveillance. They are engaging in what is ongoing criminal monitoring with the Ontario Police Department. It's entirely corrupt entity. And the Ontario City Hall is in relevant position. Monitoring with communication device in violation of federal law, sitting inside of a city hall. All right, and doing so, having engaged in what is an assault and battery as an entity. 7ZEY597, 8JDP372, 8YUG083, 8WNY740, 8YBR 897 5GJK 364, Ontario Fire Department crossing path again. Demons with directed light 12231L3. Directed light inside in front of those demons fire trucks. 45939T2. That's called impunity. They're waiting to go to federal prison. It is 9:43 a.m. The Ontario Fire Department engaged in an assault and battery as an entity, stalking now, while they also know that I'm documenting the physical violence that they engaged in with the Ontario Police who was crossing path. License plate 1591428, vehicle number 1309. Monitoring with the minions who are engaging in surveillance at the bus stop. Just stopping in plain sight. That's the psychopath that are the demons stalking by helicopter. Again, that's 1591428. That's an African-American male. Documented him engaging in criminal summoning as I was walking up Upland Avenue. This is the African-American that I documented. The entity is engaging in what is monitoring with these minions who are at the bus stop. He was present pursuant to criminal summoning at the same Starbucks that I documented yesterday at 507 North Euclid Avenue with Guerrero. And he was also engaged in criminal summoning in Upland, California on Euclid Avenue, where the entity engaged in what is a car accident. Moments before, the entity flew over me by helicopter as I was walking up Euclid Avenue. And it was the iteration of the pattern of conduct with the Ontario Fire Department. I documented that. The entity flew over my head by helicopter as well. That same African-American officer right now is stalking in the path. This is terrorism. While then he smiles in my face, he's loitering in the path, knows that what I'm documenting, is aware of the fact that I am specifically documenting physical violence. This is how demon-possessed engage in what is terrorizing you. That's Satan. All right, it makes no difference that they're putting a smile on on their face. That's a psychopath. That's what that is. The Ontario Police Department is doing nothing other than group stalking. They just got through flying over by helicopter and physically attacking me via the third parties that they're sitting over here conversing with. License 1327397. He's going to federal prison anyway. License plate 8SKF296 7EMH287. URAWZRD 6WKH043 98430R2. That's just like Guerrero, who would always arrive pursuant to criminal summoning and tried to do so in a nice manner. That's what he did in August of 2021 while Starbucks at 507 North Euclid Avenue engaged in criminal summoning. He's arriving. He's the friendly one engaging. Hey, Erica, how's it going? Engaged in criminal summoning at the Open Family Community Library. Hey, Erica, how's it going? All right. Put a smile on their face. They're monitoring. 46303L2. All you're doing is waiting for Satan to show its true colors. All right. And that's what was demonstrated at the Ontario Museum where Guerrero arrived pursuant to criminal summoning again. Okay. A very violent sex offender who was engaging in criminal monitoring, exercising fictitious authority under the law. That's what Guerrero was engaging in. Never friendly. Okay, documenting it the entire time. I'm aware of this, but I'm documenting for your knowledge that there is no form where you're engaging in criminal monitoring. There's nothing friendly about criminal monitoring, stalking and terrorizing by helicopters, group stalking with the people of the state, including Brightview, license 46303L2, stalking with light activity. Brightview is California 0081686. They're monitoring with the Ontario Police Department, engaging in assault and battery. Brightview has been engaged in this for years as well. 8WSE990, as I documented them as I remained in my vehicle in Diamond Bar, California, outside of the park where I remained in my vehicle, and the entity would use airplanes nowhere near the Ontario airport over a quaint residential street, UPS 2010, that's a license plate, and Brightview, stalking in the path at that venue where the entity kept the fake sun over my car, stalking by planes, and stalking by police, including the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department. License 7PEG758. That's what Brightview is doing now. That's what Brightview's been doing for years. And Brightview engaged in assault and battery as an entity. Documented. License 4TRK450. License 6KOL004. The only difference between the demons of the Ontario Police Department is that Brightview is identified by a company name. All right. License plate 8PBT951. License 8PXE157. And I'm referencing this African-American male who is group stalking with the demons that are engaging in surveillance around me at the bus stop. He stops at the same location where Brightview is right here. I'm at the bus stop at B&G Plaza. And the Ontario Police stops in relevant position monitoring me while carrying on a conversation with a third party. They're monitoring together. They're demons under the fake sun, while the entity is stalking by plane and helicopter, and then engaging in what is loitering in relevant position. A psychopath that knows exactly that I'm documenting and engaging in what is stalking in that manner, monitoring in that manner. I want to be clear, I'm identifying that because this is already published documentation, 8N81179. And the identification of that particular officer who was with Guerrero, as I documented at 507 Euclid Avenue, the Starbucks, who engaged in criminal summoning, because the entirety of that conversation is published on my podcast on that specific date. I reminded you about that yesterday on my website. I published the video where the Ontario Police are present at 507 North Euclid Avenue, the Starbucks, where I'm there in the morning, around 10 in the morning, and the fake son, as I documented last year, is present at that same venue over my head at that same parking lot in the front after 4 p.m., where the Ontario Police, including that African-American officer, are present pursuant to criminal summoning. And so I want to make sure I document that because that's already his identification, his specific name, which I cannot specifically recall right now, is already published on my podcast. All right, so I already know who this is. I already published the documentation pursuant to that. And also the criminal act of, this is criminal summoning, a car accident, calling for police and fire, where they're monitoring with the people of the state. He's also present pursuant to that iteration of the P.O.C, which I also published. License 8HXB168, 8WZN739, 5VIV763, 79675S2. And this is Omnitrans, group stalking with the Ontario Police, 1404974. Touching with directed light and bright view also while they drive off, touching with directed light, 79720W1, 7ZNC116. And like I said, every officer that I have named, they're going to federal prison. In addition to those that I have identified with regard to what is the Ontario Police Department in its entirety, but everyone that I have specifically encountered, placing me under surveillance, because that's what they're doing, they're group stalking, they're going to federal prison. 38067K3. And this is evidence against what is the entirety of that agency. The Ontario Police Department shall be disbanded, cease from existence. R639SO. 6 RHV962. And that police officer that is smiling in my face engaged in physically attacking me last night, an assault and battery, while on the next day, under the fake sun, in directed light, is smiling in my face while stalking me via a third party that he is conversing with. That's a psychopath. License 8LSF243. He is going to federal prison. I cannot stress it enough. It is currently 9:50 a.m. There is no getting out of or in any way separating or any distinction from, in other words, the Ontario Police Department that is stalking day and night, as I captured it again at 12:36 a.m., 12:46 a.m., where this entity physically attacks me and the Ontario Police is stalking by a helicopter. Okay. 8SOK764, license 31682N2, license 7WKD642, license 49212E1, 8VGR507. San Bernardino Sheriff's Department crossing path again at 9:51 a.m. (8YKG 433). 8DCH173. And all the entity is doing is keeping the fake sun over me. It's nowhere near what is the Ovid Family Community Library or the Upland Public Library. It's 9:52 a.m. and the entity just keeps it over my head wherever it is that I go. And that's how you'll have what is then the placement of the fake sun over the Ovid Family Community Library, which is the pattern of conduct that I've already fully documented. That's also how you're catching what is that unnatural environment while the entity engages in that. And it's not just the environment, because that's where the Ontario International Airport will follow with planes, 57821B3, and that's why they then start flying over the 280 North Lemon apartments, remaining on the south side of my person. License 7XGY455. Monitoring with the Ontario Police, 2FCD 932, 07731W1. City of Ontario crossing path on Plum, turning west onto Hope Boulevard. (8JFX 899 7TJV 081 6ANK). I can't even see that one. 58177 8RFB 823 6PSP 930. I'm laughing because you have a demon that crosses path and removed the license plates off the front and back of their car. The entity is catching every single last ounce of those federal charges as I identify you, and I'm also going to prosecute you for efforts to obstruct the ability to identify you. Publicly available identifying information while you know that you're being documented. You're under a fake sun and indirected light. With the entity stalking by helicopters and airplanes, you are engaging in what is seeking to avoid documentation, which the government has no grounds to do. You're going to prosecute for that. 8SZJ 307. That's a psychopath. Okay, that's not insanity. That's a psychopath. That's calculated conduct. All right, they will be sitting in what are mental institutions, engaging in physical violence, all right, while you assert your rights. While they are surrounded with evidence, you're literally stalking me by helicopter and then you're going to physically attack. The Ontario Police Department is done. And they know that, and you're talking about what is the extraordinary grounds, okay, to disband that police department while they engage in that criminal conduct. Okay, the idiots that provide evidence of that while I document it on video. You're an idiot providing evidence of it when you know that I'm capturing it on video. And you know, your demons in directed light under a fake sun stalking me specifically for years. That's not an ongoing coincidence happening over and 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 over again. All right, this is, and also not just in Ontario, wherever it is that I go. Fontana, Los Angeles, Montclair, etc. The entity is engaging in a pattern of conduct. This is what group stalking is. Group stalking shall be prosecuted as an extraordinarily violent sex offense. That's what's going on in your criminal record. That's how you're limiting the people of the state and government actors, removing them from positions they have no business in. You're going to prosecute them as engaging in what is state surveillance, 8LPL 382, on behalf of a government. Unprecedented criminal conduct that's going on their criminal records. That's how your license plate 7CTM190, unlawful operation of her communication device while she's group stalking, 7MMV620, 7YJN982. That's speaking to, it's not only based on the pattern of conduct. You're a sex offender, you're molesting with directed light, you're stalking in bathrooms, you're engaging in what is invasion of privacy by an entity, not just in the bathroom where you're inside of what should be your private residence, you're under surveillance. All right, you're talking about what are methods of keeping you under surveillance in ways that you may not even be aware of. For example, if you are walking, and I'm just giving you a real life example, when you're in your home, you should be able to walk around naked if you want to, in your home, in your castle. You're under surveillance. All right, monitoring your communication devices, 7UGW186, 8LJF662, unfathomable levels of violation by sex offending group stalking minions. They're not just criminals, they're demon possessed. And that includes the sheriff's department. That includes the police departments. They're doing it on behalf of the law enforcement agencies. All right, it is currently 9:56 a.m. This is the Ontario International Airport as you're listening to Plane After Plane. All right, that is speaking to the necessity, the Ontario International Airport in a dire need of being shut down. It's a criminal establishment. 6AQB 852, as I've also shown the fake sun over me at that airport. 8RFH 171, directed light molesting me at that airport. And the fake sun over me, you're talking about in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening. Ontario International Airport, a bunch of demons at nothing other than a state facilitating venue. 19308Z2, Latino males in a what is a white van crossing path while the entity flies over by commercial airline planes. That's a documentation of the Ontario International Airport using all of its planes to engage in state surveillance. License plate 7CKZ791, snap-on crossing path. 7UGU976, 5YCY087, 7TJP282, 8SWP627, 9AEZ001, 8UEP325, Bell Cab 47469P1.
License 8RJX152, LA Solar Group. They're monitoring, and they engaged in assault and battery, group stalking with the Ontario Police Department. It's currently 9:58 a.m. License 9BAS552, 85611B1, 7KMJ541. Vitco Foods crossing path again. License plate YP43213. That's Line Drive Trucking crossing path. 8MTW606. Omnitrans Route 61, bus number 1329, loitering at Metro 1 and 2 apartments in relevant position, creating light activity, group stalking with the Ontario Police. The Ontario, well, they are the Ontario Police. The Omnitrans, which is the Ontario Police, stalking, or whatever city that I then go to. For example, when I'm in Fontana, they're stalking and monitoring with the Fontana Police Department, documented as well. While I'm in Chino, California, stalking and monitoring with the Chino Police Department, documented. While I'm in Pomona, California, group stalking with the Pomona Police Department, documented. License 8B. QY097. While I'm in Montclair, California, they're group stalking and monitoring with the Montclair Police Department, documented. All right, and they are engaging in that, having engaged in what is the assault and battery as an entity. They are heavily documented. While they drive away, there's no sun remaining in the window, visible through the windows of that bus. The fake sun remains right over me at the B&G Plaza, where it has remained for these past couple of hours. All right, and that is also the documentation of Omnitrans, which is nothing other than a method of presence, group stalking conduct, a company engaging what is criminal conduct on behalf of the state. License plate 8FNC257, 8WGD149, 1407544, City of Ontario, 3281872, 82604H1, 8SKM133. And it is 10 o'clock in the morning. Alrighty, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. The entity is stalking by helicopter again. And by again, I mean not going anywhere, just pacing around by helicopter where I can see it. License 09751L1. Stalking with the Ontario Police, license 8HLG865, and unlawful operation of their communication device while they're monitoring with the Ontario Police, who was flying over what is Hope Boulevard, flying over the Metro 102 apartments parking lot area, and doing so in relevant position as I'm capturing the fake sun that is not over the property of the Ovitt Family Community Library. It's not over the property of the Upland Public Library. It is nowhere near being over me while I'm on some bus en route to any other venue. The entity is keeping the fake sun right at the B&G Plaza. And that's a demon creating noise, Pirelli, Pirelli, audible activity under the fake sun, which remains over the B&G Plaza, which I've documented the entity keeping a fake sun, and so it's setting at the same B&G Plaza as well, 3TDH105. The entity keeping the fake sun in a distinct location. It's not even in the direction of the Ovitt Family Community Library. The demonic pattern of conduct, first of all, is to engage in what is physical violence and sexual violence while you document, in other words, enforce your rights, and that's why they're going to federal prison. And this is the environment where the people of the state, acting via the Ontario Police, the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department, the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department, the Ontario Fire Department, and the third parties, including companies who are engaging in the state surveillance system. This entity engaged in what is an assault and battery as an entity engaged in federal stalking together. And the fake sun remains over the B&G Plaza over my head, which is exactly what I just took pictures of at 10 o'clock. My video documentation showing the entity's fake sun is directly over me at the Upland Public Library. All right, and they're going to federal prison while they engage in criminal summoning of the Upland Police, who are placing me under surveillance, stalking in the same exact manner that the Ontario Police are by helicopters and by demons driving police vehicles. All right, the entity engaging in what is placing a fake sun, mutually exclusive to being anywhere near the City of Ontario over the B&G Plaza, let alone documentation that already exists as though the sun is setting while I'm inside of Shiro's Liquor at the same B&G Plaza. The entity is keeping this fake sun because this is where I'm standing, and this is obsessive stalking by an entity that physically attacked me. That's what they're doing, 8YHG120, and this is how you see that obsession that the Ontario Police are letting you know about. They're engaged in ongoing obsessive stalking, and that's exactly what they are doing. 8MCZ587, license PH7754, 8LGV751, 7NFY639, 8UPD419, 8PT 5913, Arizona, 7YNH551,
all of them crossing path while that ongoing indication of that specific environment remains present. It's the identification of their condition as well. These are demons that engaged in physically attacking me. These are demons that are hostile, inherently hostile to revealing both their condition, as I have let the world know. This is not only criminal, it's demonic. Sectran Security, license 91229C5, I believe, substantially similar. That's Sectran Security. They typically engage in what is surveillance at the Ontario City Hall. GLS, Parcels to People, group stalking under the fake sun and up in California, where today they're under the fake sun that remains in Ontario, California. I documented them right before I documented Grossman Law Center under the fake sun and in directed light. That's the same company, group stalking in Ontario. Engage in what is an assault and battery. 7MPD 971 8E 82045, 4U 71475, 72857H3, 6WHU 933, 7MBX 135. Cargordo Trucking Incorporated is the logo on the front of that truck, and the back license plate that of the truck that it's carrying is 4MN9744. Group stalking in the specific environment in concert with, again, the entity acting directly, the Ontario Police stalking by helicopter and in their vehicles, the Sheriff's Departments and the Ontario Fire Department, and stalking vicariously for example, Ontario International Airport, license 1607152, Fontana Police Department. That's the kind of conduct that Satan engages in while you document, to their own demise. Fontana coming into this district to cross path under the fake sun, which is nowhere near Fontana, by the way. That's what Fontana was doing while I'm in that city, keeping the fake sun over me. Fontana coming to Ontario to monitor. 8KZS449. That's direct conduct, crossing path by a Fontana police, and vicarious conduct, the Ontario International Airport by plane. 7WFA 886, I believe. Can't really see that one. License 87664H3. Engaging in terrorism with the Ontario International Airport. This is why the Ontario International Airport is concentrating planes hovering over the B&G Plaza under the fake sun, which remains, and is not over any of the libraries, for example, where I remain, including in Chino, California, including in Pomona. That's audible activity by that third party whose license plate I just recited. That's impunity. That's grounds of federal prison. All right. In addition to what is an assault and battery, as this entity is monitoring and group stalking with the police departments, it's 10:06 a.m. And that is the same Fontana Police Department engaging in what is heavy-duty documentation of what is stalking me by helicopter for years. All right. Disbanding that same police agency, coming to Ontario to engage in what is waging that threat. Wants to be identified as that you already are. You're part of the same entity that engaged in assault and battery. 158416. Oh, you can scratch that. I can't really see that one. 70HY293. License 89171S2. 63647Z1. That's Burtec. 8ZVT903. 8NCN216. 8AWY147. 6ZSS781. 8RKD634. 8BDK359, 8EKZ892, 2994OY2. Monitoring with the Ontario Police Department, the Fontana Police Department, the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department, the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department, the Ontario Fire Department. This is the entity acting directly, all right, using helicopter as well. And the Ontario International Airport is providing the instrumentalities of interstate commerce using airplanes to engage in this terrorizing system. And this is the entity that engaged in assault and battery, which is documented via video. Which was captured at 12:46 a.m. It is currently 10:07 a.m. where the fake sun remains over me, and to keep it over my head as I then go to any venue where this same exact entity stalking by planes and helicopters, multiple police departments, are also sex offenders stalking into bathrooms. And that impunity that they engage in, that sexual violence, you're going to remember this. This is what I'm going to use as evidence against those sex offenders when I'm prosecuting them. License 4HGL544, 6BDV, 742, 7FBD, 985. Because that's exactly what they're doing. And as I documented last night, they engage in more sexual violence as you document. I documented demon after demon after demon, patrolling into the bathroom. That's the Ontario Police Department, the Fontana Police Department, the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department, the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department, stalking in a bathroom. 8VAH429. While the entity that engages in criminally summoning the entity that is via these police departments are acting together. All right, then criminally summoning them. All right, federal prison. Violent sex offenders. License plate 4TIK026, 5CTK446, 82556J1, 8DVD575, 8W45229, 7CTM190, 20699J3,
6NAU 657-07588J3. That's GRB Con. Pacing all around me in the inside of the parking lot of the B&G Plaza on the ground, which is also where the Ontario International Airport is concentrating plane activity over the B&G Plaza on the south side of my person. Fake sun remains over my head at the B&G Plaza. License plate 4VLF564 6ZFY413 8EPT 822. Edison, license 78837X1. YRT 682, 7JHS 797. License 4RWT 636. Also, crossing path group stalking as the state and removing their license plate in order to avoid being documented, which is futile, but that's an additional federal charge. The entirety of the entity is absorbing that federal charge. License plate 2Z50371. That's the Ontario Town Square Townhomes creating audible activity. Monitoring with the agencies that I'm documenting in the Ontario International Airport, 7LCF 530, that's called impunity. And they engaged in, again, the Ontario Town Square Townhomes where the people of the state reside in relevant position, group stalking where they live, with the entity that they engaged in while they are in relevant position inside of their little townhomes, engaging in assault and battery, while they're monitoring group stalking with the Ontario Police, as I documented at 12:46 a.m. And that's why the fake sun remains over me, so you're understanding what is a demon that's creating audible activity, not engaging in what is gardening, their group stalking. License plate 8BHJ845. And do not forget, it's not just the charge of group stalking, it's facilitation of group stalking. You have multiple charges that the entity is engaged in. License 7ZRP901. Oscar's Barbershop is inside. They're engaged in ongoing surveillance, stalking, and monitoring with the Ontario Police, ultra personnel, sitting in a chair in operation, unlawful operation of their communication device while the entity is flying over by Ontario International Airport airplanes. 9BCW028, 8FAJ408. Again, Shiro's Liquor, Clinica Medica, California. All of these venues inside of the B&G Plaza, I just want you to remember, they're all engaging in what is the P.O.C, the entity keeping the fake sun, concentrating plane and helicopter activity, pacing around by the demon-possessed law enforcement, engaging in surveillance. 9BCS846. That ongoing obsessive stalking conduct. 7DXB729. Alrighty, 6NRK191. I just want to make sure I read these license plates that are inside of the parking lot. And Andy's Burgers, you're talking about what is ongoing surveillance. This is the same venue where I'm showing you the entity is keeping directed light and a sun in view in perfect alignment in the evening. All right, with that whole scenario at the Center Ice Arena with yellow tape, as though that makes your stalking conduct legitimate. Just put up some yellow. That's literally what Satan relies on. 62547D3. 44447S2. 8RRG216, 6XEL141, 33164C3, 6XBX229, CC59C90 paper. This is P.O.C. It is currently 10:12 a.m. That's the maintenance of audible activity. That's what you're listening to. Demonic activity. Terrorism. The entity that engaged in assault and battery. Obsessively stalking, 8TBP931. Still stalking. Obsessively stalking, which is what you see the Ontario Police Department doing. Obsessively stalking. It is 10:13 a.m. All right, as you see in images, stalking with the police, 4XAA247, it's federal prison, crossing path. 8NXJ059, crossing path with the Ontario Police, capturing images of the fake sun over me inside of the B&G Plaza, audible activity using a leaf blower, that's a demon, and it's a demon in a police vehicle who you see crossing path, and they are crossing path monitoring with the Ontario Police Department. That's capturing still images right now, 8XTU898, and that's the facilitating venue of Ontario Town Square Townhomes, creating that audible activity. 00069G3, LULULUA, C398K1, CC91L40 paper, license 5458393P2, 66816J1, 01381T2 Allied Universal, crossing path. They're engaged in ongoing surveillance at the parking garage and inside of 150 East Holt. The entity is stalking by helicopter, pacing around this, the perimeter. They're monitoring right now, and they have been engaged in that ongoing criminal monitoring. In relevant position with the law enforcement agencies, with the state that's using airplanes. All right, it is 10:14 a.m. Enrique's income tax, in relevant position, monitoring. Engaging in ongoing terrorism. This is the name of a company, the name of a venue, engaging in terrorism. The entity is concentrating plane activity over here because they're all monitoring together in violation of federal law, and they also engaged in assault and battery as an entity, 8ELW267, 8YYH537. ABBA Insurance Services, the same. 3-star janitorial. Over here is the Four Paws Boutique, the Rojas Enterprises. Enrique's income tax is located at 230 Holt Boulevard in Ontario, California. And the fake sun is over me as I walk toward that venue, keeping it over my head as I cross the street, and then keeping it over the building wherever it is I remain. And that is the absence of the sun that's already present over the Ovid Family Community Library. All right. License 1302446, that's Omnitrans Bus 1361, crossing path 6AZV691, 7TJV081. Stalking with the police. Engaging in what is assault and battery as an entity. Obsessively stalking, tracking my every step, following everywhere that I go, including as my panties are down inside of bathrooms. License 5KFP336, 6MYH212. I'm on the surveillance cameras of that bus. That's the same African-American male that was operating the Route 83, where the sun was quote-unquote setting on Euclid Avenue, 07229G3. He's pacing in that video, 8TWZ070, 6NML546, 8LEX422. I'm talking about what I documented just days ago at the same bus stop where the entity did not place. There's no sun even over that bus stop anywhere. It's remaining directly over me at the B&G Plaza. Nonetheless, at that same bus stop where the entity is placing a fake sun when I'm at that bus stop as early as 7:50 in the morning. Also, any other hour where I'm at that bus stop, including after 6 p.m. where that demon that's operating Omnitrans right now is crossing path into the fake sun. I clearly captured his image, not only in Fontana, but I captured his image just the other day. So I just want to be clear, I'm referencing that with regard to the ability to identify that minion that's operating that vehicle, Omnitrans. 7KQL792, 5KJ8884, 6ZLM984, 7UTV767, 8SUG741, 5VAZ446, 6MTX425. These are the people of the state monitoring while the entity is flying over Metro 102 and Ontario Town Squares around, Ontario Town Square townhomes around me. 6FEW343. 8GBX543, 7ADU944. I think I read that one already. Stalking with light activity, 08161G3 at Metro 102. Ontario Police is at the Ontario City Hall crossing path monitoring with this vehicle with this license plate, which is Metro 102 Apartments. This is where this truck is parked with light activity, and the Ontario Police are monitoring to that light activity. It's facilitation. 8XAJ427. 4NHC969, 7VJH759, 37354L2. So this is the maintenance of audible activity. You got another demon with a leaf blower. Okay, 7VJH759 under the fake sun, which remains over my head as I start walking up the street. 7UFW743. This is at the Ontario City Hall, which I already told you is a well-documented venue. Criminals and demons fill the Ontario City Hall. 5UAE144. It's an entirely bankrupt entity that engaged in what is an assault and battery. While I speak the truth that 4WRF657 is a demon-possessed, sex-offending group stalking minion. 9AFE567, the same, driving a black Tesla in lawful operation, engaged in unlawful operation of a communication device monitoring with the Ontario Police Department, who are crossing path at the Ontario City Hall. This is the City of Ontario creating that audible activity. This is the same one wearing the farmer's hat with the tattoo on his neck. He's going to federal prison, 1416308, stalking the path with audible activity under the fake sun. License BL87B33 paper, 7UDL341, 75675W1, 9AMU364, 6JPC 599, 7GKC 474, 7MMX 137, 6VNU 790, 5ZQY 189, 8HWF 923, 5XXR 578, 8Z40412. A license. This is a demon with directed light, molesting an old white man with a white mustache. This is a demon, 8CLK 370. And he's also engaging in what is monitoring an assault and battery as an entity, and engaging in what is the impermissible threat while still stalking and monitoring while after physically attacking me. And doing so, still monitoring right now, group stalking with the Ontario Police Department. 6FJH337, 7ZNT850, a sex offender touching me with directed light while he's engaging in his demonic conduct. 8LHF397, 8ELW267. 424DB handicap, and monitoring with that demon who crossed his path is one engaging in surveillance in the parking lot. I'll read their license plate right now. 6WXG859, that is license 8VPD021. 8CKX152, 7VXU590, 8A7TA, license 8CKX233, 7HCX720, 8JLD112, 7HDH892, 8FHK045, 8RKT587, 8LXJ742, 7UDC798, 7BBJ811, 6GRM639, 7JVB70, I can't really see that one. License 8FSB470, stalking with directed light, they're demons, operation of their communication device while they're pacing in the parking lot of the Ontario City Hall, a criminal establishment. 72240W2, demons fill this City Hall, that's why they're pacing around the parking lot with directed light, and they're monitoring. License 536DH handicap, 8TRT924, 1DGRLDY, 8EZR594, 7PZN960. 8GYE330, that's Union Pacific, stalking with audible activity creation. License 5YXY911, 6HFZ895, 99840Y1, 5ZNH186, 7KMT006. This is the City of Ontario engaging in surveillance. The fake sun is over my head while they're engaging in gardening, which is audible activity creation. And monitoring amongst directed light, demons. That's why it doesn't matter if a demon is mowing the lawn. Okay, they're demons stalking. And they are mad when you tell the truth that they're stalkers, and they engage in physical violence, which I'm going to prosecute every single last one, including the Ontario City Hall. Bunch of demons hiding under what is the title of a city hall. They have no authority under the law. They're engaged in criminal conduct, and their public corruption is a matter of what is public information now, as I'm prosecuting them. There are sex offenders monitoring me, stalking me while my panties are down in the bathroom, while minions are pacing in and out, just like they are in this parking lot. Those demons are then pacing in and out of bathrooms. Engaging in ongoing obsessive stalking conduct by the same exact Ontario police who you see following me day and night with helicopters. License 8LXJ742, criminal surveillance 7UDC798, 7BBJ811, 7WIG756, 8BHL385. It is currently 10:23 a.m. Alrighty, capturing what are demons who are group stalking with their communication devices, walking through the little walkway in between the side of the Ovitt Family Community Library and the Senior Center, where I was on Sunday afternoon after 4 p.m. of the Ovitt Family Community Library, where I was yesterday morning before this time, and the fake sun was right over me at this time. As I come at a later time, you see the fake sun right over my head, and you see the absence of the light source that's over cozy right next to the side of the Ovitt Family Community Library, but it's remaining directly over my head while I'm not at that location and have not been at that location. And the entity is engaging in what is placing this fix, and also what is relevant at 10:23 a.m. I am in Chino, California, inside of the parking lot of the Mary Margaret Catholic Church, where criminal monitoring and demonic activity, terrorism is underway, and that's why you have that impossible coexisting documentation of the sun directly over my head in its zenith.
over the top of my head at 1023 in Chino, California, and while I remain in Ontario, California today. This is the pattern of conduct, and this is the entity that's just falling with a fake sun that remains over my head as I walk to whatever location. And that is speaking to the ongoing P.O.C. This is the entity that engaged in assault and battery. As an entity, the same exact entity as I'm documenting them by company name, by license plate, any images and or video. This is the entity that engaged in that physical harm, infliction of that harm, while they're demons who are stalking with the Ontario Police, which is captured in video. And they also, in that video, physically attack me, coming straight to me. This is where you are looking at this entity, this minion. This is the entity, though, representing the people of the state that are group stalking. The stalking conduct that I'm identifying in that video, they literally demonstrated while that demon walks right up to me and physically attacks me, because they are stalking and I'm pointing it out. They're pointing it out themselves while you're stalking with a helicopter. License 8TBX511 is a stalker, all right? And a demon-possessed one, directed light while they're driving a car. License, a stalker, 6UJT561, a stalker, okay? Walking out of the Ovid Family Community Library, crossing path while that directed light is underway, a stalker. They're at work inside of the Ovid Family Community Library, stalking. Okay, it is currently 10:26 a.m. This is P.O.C. All right, the Ovid Family Community Library located at 215 East C Street, where the pattern of conduct is already established that they are ceaselessly engaging in. That is impunity, again. Directed light through the window of the, above the staircase. And that's actually what is the demonic, because you're understanding what are distinct methods of light. It is the act of Satan placing this engineered light, which you are, again, supposed to be ignorant of. It is the placement of light, the aiming of light, which has nothing to do with the actual placement of the sun. It's not a natural environment, and it's not naturally occurring light. And these are demons that are stalking inside of the Ovid Family Community Library. This is the case. It's relevant to what the Ovid Family Community Library engaged in. Every employee, every third party present inside of the venue, engaging in assault and battery as an entity inflicting physical harm, while I'm documenting the Ontario Police Department at the same time stalking me by helicopter. This is the Ovid Family Community Library, the identification of a venue or location where the entity is engaging in the pattern of conduct. So you are identifying it by that very address and the name of that entity that the state is using to place you under surveillance, keep you under surveillance. This is the sex offender also stalking me in the bathroom, engaging in what is an assault and battery, physically attacking me as well, while I'm speaking to the fact that it is engaging in what is stalking. They're stalkers. That's exactly what they are, and they are demon-possessed ones, and they're violent sex offenders, and they're animals that engage in that conduct while you reveal it. They're animals that act out as animals do, which you see in video. That is documentation of the Ovid Family Community Library. All right. It is currently 10:29 a.m., and this is P.O.C. Hello, Nikki.
You want to go back here first?
No, you go right on ahead. She's stalking with activity, pushing a cart out of the elevators, creation of audible activity, with simultaneity to my operation of my phone. This is group stalking inside of Ovid Family Community Library. Group stalking inside of the Ovid Family Community Library. It's 7:15 p.m. and this is what the Ovid Family Community Library has continuously engaged in. And what you're looking at images of is what are very militant minions, maintaining relevant positioning, engaging in what is movement and what is directed light. This is what they're sitting in while they're focusing their outward attention on a computer screen. They are group stalking, demons stalking with activity, getting up, which is pacing in the engineered light, stalking with noise, thumping on tables, slamming down books, getting off the elevator with a book cart like Nikki just did. Stalking with activity is what these minions are doing, and they're also violent sex offenders who are engaging in group stalking and monitoring in the bathroom. Demons engaging in what is militant positioning, because that's what you're looking at, demons that are engaged in obsessive stalking inside of the library, and they're doing so while my panties are down inside of the bathroom. This is the sex offender that engaged in what is an assault and battery last night, still engaged in that ongoing obsessive stalking conduct, and this is the Ovid Family Community Library. That's Nikki that's engaged in that assault and battery last night, and she is still today stalking and monitoring with the Ontario Police, additional grounds of federal prison, and engaging in what is that perpetual sex offense, monitoring while my panties are down. That includes the African American female, the Securitas employee, stalking with audible activity, pacing around on the bottom level in the basement while my panties are down in the bathroom, monitoring with the minion who states her name is Kathy, These are the employees, in addition to what is an ongoing molestation. This is Carlos pacing around me while I'm sitting at the computer on the first level and slinging shadows. Okay, that's a demon that's molesting me with directed light while he's walking by, group stalking with the rest of these demons as though he's answering a question, and he's molesting my person with directed light while he does so. That's a psychopath. That's what the demon possessed are doing, and they're doing it in this demented light, speaking to what is the demented conduct that they are maliciously engaging in concert with the Ontario Police, where all of the pattern of conduct is concentrated inside of the building, where psychopaths are doing nothing other than convincing themselves that they're doing something other than group stalking. This is the same exact entity stalking at the museum in a helicopter. They are not doing anything. These are stalkers. Okay, and they are violent sex offenders monitoring inside of the bathroom. So I want to make sure I document that. It includes also not only Carlos engaging in what is a molestation, engaging in an assault and battery. This is the demon-possessed entity placing me under surveillance, demonstrating hostility. This is hatred, but also an ongoing obsession, stalking. That's how it's illustrated. That's exactly what Carlos engages in. Molestation is a sex offense, while he is also monitoring, threatening, and physically harming me with an assault and battery that he is documented as engaging in as an entity last night with the Ontario Police. This is not just Carlos. Allen is present, engaging in what is pacing around on the base level with the minions that are just maintaining presence inside of the Other Family Community Library group, stalking together on an ongoing basis on behalf of the Ontario Police. This is how, in other words, the Ontario Police Department remains present, engaged in ongoing obsessive stalking. As you see, while I am capturing them stalking me in helicopters, that entity that is clearly obsessed is stalking right now via the stalkers that are the people of the state that engaged in assault and battery, every single last one of them on surveillance cameras documented, engaged in an ongoing impermissible threat, while they are engaging in an ongoing sex offense, engaging in what is ongoing criminal monitoring after inflicting physical harm, after engaging in criminal summoning, all right, including the company Securitas, this African-American female waging false allegations, stalking in a bathroom, still engaging in the conduct of a sex offender, monitoring with the Ontario Police. It's 7:18 p.m. at the Ovid Family Community Library, and these are demons who are sitting in directed light. That's what they're doing. They're not studying anything. They get up and pace around as I engage in any new movement, literally as I press the screen on my phone. These are psychopaths, sex offenders, who know exactly who I am and what I'm doing as I'm doing it, as they illustrated in video at 12:46 a.m. this morning, engaging in an assault and battery as an entity together. This is grounds of federal prison, and this is occurring inside of the Ovid Family Community Library. JFed as well. This is an employee going by the name of JFed. His full government name is not to remain a mystery. I'm just giving a sample of those who are present in relevant position engaging in monitoring today. Natasha. These are those who are going to be prosecuted for engaging in what is assault and battery as an entity and still stalking and monitoring, engaging in surveillance. Let me clarify again. The Ontario Police Department fills the Ovid Family Community Library. That's what this is. This is the Ontario Police Department inside of the Ovid Family Community Library stalking, showing you the stalkers that are the people of the state that the Ontario Police Department engages in ongoing surveillance. That's why I have hundreds of videos of the Ontario Police, including today, stalking by helicopter, while I'm identifying more minions by license plate. These minions then just sit inside of a building engaging in surveillance all day long. Obsessed stalkers. It's 7:20 p.m. This is P.O.C. This is a third party identifying herself as Kathy, pacing around me. This is a threat. This is a demon that's engaging in what is ritualistic stalking conduct, achieving what is criminal monitoring, and while this psychopath is aware of the fact that I'm documenting, pacing around in directed light. Remember, that is the criminal act of monitoring. It is the act of the demon possessed as well. That's prosecuted as terrorism, and this is what Kathy is engaging in. It is currently 7:21 p.m. It is 7:21 p.m. Sorry, I want to document that's Kathy engaging in what is harassment while she's monitoring me. This is P.O.C. It's 9:01 p.m. 6 JDW 421, 8 RHB 626, 7 UUN 561, 6 ZIF 588, 5XNE 350, 7 HIA 968, 7 ZSY 132, 4 ZSY 132, 5 DNW 126, 7 RCN 179, 51647P2, that's a commercial vehicle, TKE. Elevators, escalators, tkelevator.com. It's 9:03 p.m. This is upon my exit right now of the Ovitt Family Community Library. 4EEZ074. 8 SEA757, directed light, stalking with audible activity, molestation, 9:03 p.m. 8 RSE885, 7 VPV745, 8 MDK636, 8 YHH114, 7 TGP854, 7 LLP200, 7 ZTS232 with the Ontario Police by helicopter, and 8 CLD829. Group stalking with the entity that's stalking by helicopter, the same entity engaging in what is assault and battery. License 8ATP148, monitoring me while my panties are down, terrorizing with the entity that's flying over by helicopter, molesting with what is directed light, ceaseless, ongoing, obsessive, and terrorizing stalking. 8ZPA874, ALYICAT. And they're crossing paths on behalf of the Ontario Police. License, I can't really see that one. 6 MIT 507, 8E26740, 55597J2, 4X27243. License 8XXC286. And I'm referencing, this is federal prison, what I'm documenting. Those that are subject to federal prison as I prosecute them. All right, they're already known as stalkers. They're already known as engaging in what is criminal monitoring. They're doing so on behalf of the police department. That is literally the provision of criminal conduct that I'm going to present against the people who also engaged in what is assault and battery. This is relevant to what is impunity, a very long term in federal prison. Okay, this is what I'm documenting right now. License plate, it is 9:06 p.m. T-Mobile at the intersection of Holt and Euclid, monitoring with this demon that's blasting 112, audible activity and directed light. It is 9:07 p.m. Metro 102 is in relevant position. I already documented them. They're on my website. Their address, that apartment building, it's a facilitating venue. Every single last one of them are catching a federal prosecution. The entity was flying over that apartment building today under the fake sun over my head. They were monitoring with the Ontario Police like they were this morning at 12:46, at 12:36 last night after 10 o'clock. They're monitoring every night with the Ontario Police. And they've been doing that for years. I don't care if they moved away from their apartment. I don't care how new it is they are as a resident. They're going to be prosecuted. That's a facilitating venue. It is 9:07 p.m. 6YU, I can't really see that. You can scratch that one. Let me get the next demon. This is surveillance on Euclid Avenue, Holt Boulevard. Traffic while the entity is stalking by helicopter. License plate 4PFY520. Just want to document. That's the people of the state engaging in ongoing obsessive stalking. This is engaging in that criminal system, engaging in what is physically harming you, and then engaging in ongoing stalking, including in bathrooms. That's a very demented and ongoing threat to your life. That's a psychopath that both stalks you and also physically attacks you while they insist on continuously stalking you. Literally trying to, in other words, shut you up about the fact that they're stalking you, that they're sexually violating you, and that they're obsessed with you. But at the same time, they hate you. That's what the demon-possessed are doing. And they're doing it as an entity. Okay, you're talking about what is unprecedented grounds of federal prison, and that's a lot. So you're talking what I documented today, every single last one of them. And they are engaging in conduct on behalf of an entity while you see the people of the state attack me on video, which is not the first physical act of violence that this entity has engaged in, nor the Ontario Police Department, by the way. Every single last one, again, the Ontario Police Department being prosecuted as a sex offender. The Ontario Police Department's pacing in and out of the bathroom. Understand the Ontario Police Department works at the Ovitt Family Community Library. The Ontario Police Department is sitting there stalking, looking at computer screens like somebody forgot the fact that they're stalking me all day and all night in helicopters. That's the delusional psychopath, because that's literally what they're doing. That's what group stalkers are doing. And then when they engage in criminal summoning, that's the Ontario Police Department summoning itself. You're summoning the stalker. You are the stalker. That's literally what that's their whole system. All right, yeah, they're going to federal prison and they're going into mental institutions throughout this country, and especially as you witness the violence that the demon possessed engage in. And that's why you're going to protect with what is necessary legislation, additional supplemental legislation, if you will, which is what I advocate, systematic infliction of inhumane suffering. And it's a revealing, again, of what is very real, both demonic activity and also the way in which you are dealing with what is that animal, which are the demon possessed. They're a threat to the public. They are a threat to society. And they are in positions currently in positions that they have no business being in, as you are revealing and witnessing and unveiling and realizing the public corruption that exists. And so this is an ongoing urgency, not just in California. This is going on in the country. All right, and I want to be clear, this is the reality. This is what's wrong with law enforcement in this country. It's not some Black Lives Matter narrative. It's deeper than that, just as an aside. Anyway, it's 9:12 p.m. This is P.O.C. The Ontario Police Department, ongoing stalking, 11:31 p.m. This is evidence against the people of the state. This is the Ontario Museum of History and Arts. The entity is stalking what is impossible light, engineered light. This is demonic activity that the Ontario Police Department is engaging in, ongoing terrorism, and stalking the people of the state. That's crossing path. They're demons that are monitoring with the Ontario Police Department, as I documented. That is the same Ontario Police Department acting with impunity, engaging in what is an assault and battery, and the entity that are the people of the state who I heavily documented today, who will be prosecuted in concert with that Upland Police Department in the same way, while the people of the state, as you witnessed yesterday, engaging in what is physically attacking me on behalf of that demon-possessed agency, the Ontario Police Department, who is demonstrating their impunity and the worthiness of what is disbanding that police agency. They're engaged in ongoing obsessive stalking. It's 11:32 p.m. This is P.O.C. at the Ontario Museum of History and Arts. The people of the state are group stalking in the path, maintaining presence, group stalking around me at the museum in the same way that the Ontario Police Department are just engaging in ongoing stalking, flying around me, flying over me repeatedly. That's called criminal summoning. That's the entity create stalking with light activity. That's the Ontario Police. It's criminal summoning. That's why they're going to federal prison. The African American that I documented this morning, he's going to federal prison. That's impossible light that touched this door over here. Those are demons. Those are demons. Flying over me by helicopter and crossing path with light. And on this wooden doorway over here, there's no light that would ever occur on that. That's a demonic pattern. And that's how you know they're stalking me. Those are demons. Okay? Very, very demonic. The people of the state going to federal prison. The Ontario Police Department disbanding federal prison and mental wards. I have evidence to support all of it. It is necessary as a matter of justice. And that is the Ontario Police Department that engaged in physically attacking me yesterday. That's what, well, it's still today. It's still the same day. The entity engaging in what is via the people physically attacking me, and they're group stalking, and they're still group stalking right now. And this is evidence that I'm going to prosecute the Ontario Police Department and the people of the state with. That's impunity. Stalking using a police vehicle, that's demonic activity. And stalking using a helicopter. It is 11:33 p.m. This is P.O.C. What you're going to pay attention to in the previous video, you see how the entities immediately sounded sirens. They didn't drive from any distance. They were already stalking in a police vehicle and stalking by helicopter, surrounding me and flying over me again at the museum by helicopter. This is just ongoing obsessive stalking. It's 11:50 p.m. This is the entity that engaged in what is an assault and battery. That's the Ontario Police Department that engaged in assault and battery on video via a demon-possessed third-party group stalker, as I speak the truth that the people are stalkers. And that's exactly what the people of the state demonstrated while a stalker on behalf of that police department approaches me on video and physically attacks me. And you have what is the same night, the Ontario Police engaging in ongoing stalking. That's what they did this morning, by the way, while I'm literally reading the license plates of the people of the state that I'm going to prosecute for that assault and battery. The entity is still engaging in stalking. Here it is, flying by helicopter, just flying in circles. Moments ago, flying right here over me, it was louder, flying in circles. This is demonic. And this is the entity, this is what the entity was doing this morning while I was identifying the people of the state who I'm going to prosecute while the Ontario Police physically attacked me. And this is what the Ontario Police Department was doing all day while I was sitting inside of the Ovitt Family Community Library. Those demons that I'm capturing in images and stating their names, employees, are the Ontario Police Department engaging in surveillance inside of a venue. The Ontario Police is stalking 24/7. 24/7. When I'm in any bathroom, wherever it is that I'm sleeping, wherever it is that I'm located. It is currently 11:51 p.m. and that's the obsessed stalker that also engages in what is physically harming me, physically attacking me as I speak the truth about what it is you're looking at in video, an obsessed stalker. And it is the people of the state. That's what the people of the state are. They're stalkers. They're demon-possessed ones. That's what their problem is. It's demonic activity that I'm exposing to you. And you saw demons attack me. The demons are stalking by helicopter, and the demon then comes and physically attacks me. That is very serious time in federal prison, and I documented a whole bunch of people that are going to serve time for the ongoing criminal conduct. That's how you're prosecuting an entity, because the pattern of conduct is ceaselessly underway. And that's how I'm able to identify hundreds of third parties today who are going to serve time for what the Ontario Police Department are doing with them, including physically attacking me. It is currently 11:52 p.m. This is P.O.C.